Hello, hello. On today's show, we've got a new segment, the Previews Preview. But Mike will still show us if Matina will continue to dominate or if he is worn out his welcome. And on the horizon, Pat proposes the question, what's better than two Hot Toys Batman? Welcome to your favorite live streaming, whatnotting podcast, Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space. I, as usual, am your third or fourth favorite podcasting host, Kevin. And I am not alone is an understatement for this show. I am on location in Pennsylvania. So I actually not only have the two epically important people to this show on the live stream, but then I've got a couple awesome people in person with me as well. But first things first, Patrick, good morning.
Good morning.
And then, of course, the better late than never, Michael. I was going to out you, but I don't want you to get doxxed or anything. So,
Good morning, everyone.
Sorry, what'd you say, Mike?
I'm in a better mood now.
Okay, good. Yeah, when all of us have technical difficulties, it's bad, but it's almost just as bad when just one of us have technical difficulties. And that's only part of the reason we're late. The biggest reason we're late is because of me being in Pennsylvania and not having seen my family for a while. So, but also we have virtually in the room my amazing sister Karen doing background awesomeness. And she's actually physically in the room I'm in as well. So Karen, if you want to do a sound effect and then just say hello, people can hear you now as well. Whatever you want to do.
Good morning.
Could you guys hear the good morning over the clap? Okay. And then last but not least, my wonderful son is in the room as well. You want to say, hey, Tyler?
Hey.
All right. So, we've got an awesome show here. Got a first time segment first time showing of a new segment, the Previews Preview. So that will make my What Kevin Watched very short to possibly non-existent time. At least that's what Mike and Pat are hoping. And no, I'm just kidding. And then, everything else will stay the same except previews. And we'll see how this goes. We may, depending on how the previews go, if we're still on the air by 3 p.m. this afternoon, maybe we'll have to adjust for the next preview where it'll just be a previews show. We'll see how it goes. But it could work the opposite. We could completely shorten What Kevin Watched, and previews only last 30 minutes. Who knows what's going to happen, right, guys?
That's right.
Yep.
So I did want to. Well, actually, let's just get into the first, the biggest, most important, what the viewers have been waiting for segment in Cover Combat, right? And then I'll say the other things I have to say. Right? You ready for that, Mike?
Sure. Yep.
All right, let's do it. All right, awesome. The semifinals. Hey, what's up, Britt? Glad you're here. Hopefully you voted on Cover Combat and you've got some covers to root for in our semifinal round of Cover Combat 4 here. What we got, Mike?
All right, we are down to the final 6 covers. So we'll break it down. We have, let's see, 2 Francisco Martinez, Bill Sienkiewicz, Todd McFarlane, and a Clayton Crane. So we want to get right into it. We got this first matchup. It's pretty exciting.
Can I say something first?
Absolutely.
This is a question for both of you. And Pat, you can go first. Would you have predicted at the beginning of Cover Combat 4 that Matina would have been a dominant force to the end, or was this surprising to you?
My first instinct is to say it is surprising, but then when I think about the voting pool, maybe it's not so surprising.
Gotcha. What do you say, Mike?
Yeah, I'm not surprised because of how well the kind of the digital art and the real painted look goes. Basically the same as Patrick. Just
Gotcha. Okay. Hey, so Britt just said that he commented that he's AKA Broton Proton. He's been a big part of the Whatnot show. Hey, I guess that's one thing I should have said prior to Cover Combat 4 being put up. Sorry about this, Mike, but you know what I did this week? I hyped up the show that it was going to be on Thursday, but I had it scheduled for Wednesday. So when I went to start the show on Thursday, there was no show because I missed Wednesday. So Broton, I don't know whether you were there Wednesday. Sorry, I didn't make it. And then the reason I didn't start the show on Thursday anyway is because I was a little underprepared and was going to rush anyway. So since the show didn't exist, so obviously no one was expecting me. I was like, you know what? I messed up. I can't go back in time and fix what I already missed on Wednesday. So I'll just be more prepared for next Tuesday. So Broton, again, if you were there Wednesday, I apologize for not making it. It was totally unintentional. If you watched last week's live stream, for anybody who watched it, I said the show was on Thursday and you could bookmark it now. But then literally the show was actually Wednesday. I totally messed it up. So I apologize for that. So there, I'm done with my interruption, Mike. Go ahead.
It gave me a week off unpacking a lot of stuff.
That is a silver lining. Hey, did you see how I'm delayed again? This is going to be fun. So
Right.
we got Pennsylvania internet supporting both me and Karen. So this show should be interesting on top of everything Mike's going through. So anyway, Mike, here we go.
All right. I mean, this is probably the most exciting matchup outside of the Jello Deathstroke book. But first up,
yeah,
4 versus Hulk 340.
Yeah, I'm super apprehensive about this one. That's for sure.
Super nervous. Well, it was super close.
Okay.
There have been closer, but this one, the winner got 60% of the vote.
Okay.
So that's not too bad.
Yeah.
All right. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think, Kevin, you want Hulk.
Yeah.
It's been on the Hulk bandwagon.
Yep.
Yep. You seem nervous.
I am.
All right. I'm just going to pull the Band-Aid off.
Okay. Oh, sweet.
It's Hulk 340 for the win.
Very nice. Thank God. It's official. Again, Johnny. Yay. I know Johnny was as distraught as I was in Cover Combat 1 that Incredible Hulk 340 was eliminated in the first round, I think it was, right, Pat?
I think so, yeah.
So the fact that this has made it to the finals now is fitting. Thank you. Thank you to all the voters for doing the right thing. Ty's over here trying to talk some smack. He's saying that's an overrated cover. He's couldn't be more wrong.
He's an arm length, you know.
Yeah, he is at arm length. All right, what's up next, Mike?
Next up, we have Electra 23 from Bill Sienkiewicz versus Spider-Man 2099, number 5 from Francisco Mattina.
All right, I'm interested to hear. We haven't had Tyler on the show at all, which Spider-Man 2099 is one of his big players. What do you think of this cover, Tyler?
I mean, it's awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you a Mattina fan in general anyway, too?
It's actually the first time I heard the name. I didn't know the name very well at all.
You mean during Cover Combat 4 is the first time you've
Yeah.
heard the name? Okay. I was going to say, if you said the first time you heard the name was today, I'd be especially bitter. That means you've
No.
missed the whole Cover
No,
Combat.
no.
Yeah, you've missed all of 2023 shows.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I like what he's got going on, obviously. Very clean.
Yeah, that's a good way to
I
put
like
it.
the darkness of it.
So, okay, obviously you voted for 2099 on this
No,
one.
I voted for Electra. This one's perfect. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh. Okay.
Yes, I voted for 29.
So I think at the end of the last show, Mike made the statement that I guess we can count on all of us, the 3 we voted for the finals. Did that hold true? Pat, Mike, Pat first?
I think I'm not 100% following you there, Kevin.
So he was like the old school being Incredible Hulk, Elektra, and what's the third one?
Venom.
Oh, Venom, yeah.
Venom wasn't old school. It was just those two.
Oh no, the way he said it was we were all voting against Mattina for
Oh yeah, that you can count on that from me.
I may have lied.
Yeah, you may have because of something else I threw out in a private chat I won't mention here.
For dramatic effect, I may have lied.
Yeah.
What I was going to vote for.
Okay.
So you want to see the winner here? The winner has 70% of the vote.
Oh man, that doesn't bode well for Elektra.
Yeah, it is scary. All right, here we go. And the winner, Electra versus 2099.
Yes!
No way.
Oh!
Get out of here.
This is awesome. 2 old schoolers making it into the finals already, so that's awesome.
Now, I have to admit, I did vote for Electra there.
Awesome. You did the right thing.
Obviously, it's the winner. I only vote for winners.
Nice.
Except for last week. I voted for All right, and our final matchup, we have Venom number 1 from Clayton Crane versus Deathstroke 32 from Francisco Mattina.
All right, so I don't have much invested in how much I care which way this one goes. But ironically enough, I might be the most annoyed if the one I didn't vote for wins on this one. Just because this is the last annoying cover left.
There's an annoying cover.
Yes, look, it looks like a big blob of Jello. It's like, worse than it being Jello. This is like, what's that old gelatin that's kind of old school? It's like, they put pineapple and stuff in it. That looks like a piece of cherry Jello that's got a pineapple in it or something behind it. That's what that is. That's
No,
pineapple
it's obviously
strawberry
light.
gelatin.
I don't think it looks like that at all.
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed. You may not have been down in Xcellar since I did it, but I dug through my collection. I pulled out that Deathstroke, and it's up on the shelf.
No, I didn't notice that yet. I can't wait to see it when I get back, though. Probably won't ever see it again. No, just kidding.
I didn't get that impression of what you're saying at all. I think all the viewers might be surprised who I voted for.
No way. Well, you can go ahead and say it. That's what the hosts are for. We can expose our votes before it's revealed. Did you vote for Mattina over this?
I voted on Deathstroke for this.
Oh my God!
God.
That's shocking. Who'd have thought we couldn't rely on Tyler to vote for Venom in this round?
Sure.
I've been very, very but there's select covers that I love Crane for when he does Venom, Carnage, yada yada. But there's half of it that I'm just not too much a fan of.
Wow.
And it's what you commented on a previous show that his eyes are always a little too much on top of his head.
Yeah,
The eyes get me with, but yeah, Crane's art for that.
they're iceps.
Oh, Mike! You did it again. That's perfect.
good.
The eyes.
It's good.
Well, I voted for Deathstroke.
And Deathstroke is my number 2 favorite DC character, so it's not far away from. It's not too ridiculous for me to pick a Deathstroke over Venom because he would be one of the few that I would like more in some cases.
All right. Well, you ready to see the winner?
No, I'm not. I've got more to
Me
say.
neither.
This is
I'm
what
not
I
now.
I have this to say about it real quick, okay? And I want to say this to Tyler because obviously he hasn't been watching any shows or listening to the podcast. That I'm obviously being a little harsh on this cover. I'm just for dramatic effect. But I want to point this out too, that maybe some viewers, listeners aren't aware of. When you're holding this book in your hand,
Which book?
the Deathstroke book.
Okay.
It's going to look different than when you have it on the screen.
Right.
When you have it like this, and when I'm pointing that out to Tyler, I'm pointing out that my screen is full screen. It looks different than when I have it like this. Wait, where is it?
Minimized.
Yeah, why can't I minimize right now? Okay, thanks.
I hit escape.
Well, the thing that allows me to hit it on the screen to minimize wasn't coming up for some reason. Anyway, I look at these covers minimized most of the time.
Yeah.
So that you see how, if that was how you saw it, like all the time, you see how it's a little bit different.
It could be.
Well, this is a learning experience. Don't look at the minimized.
Don't look at covers minimized.
Yeah.
But then we'd miss all that critiquing ridiculous dramatic effect content, Mike. It's all a plan. It's all part of the plan.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. Let's go through this. Let's get to this, right?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. And the winner was 60% of the vote. We have So
Wow.
Francisco Matina wore out his welcome.
Sure did.
Wow.
How Uncle Mikey said earlier that he only votes for winners. I'm the opposite. I voted for every losing cover.
You didn't vote for Incredible Hulk 340?
No.
No, I mean,
I really like the other one.
Spawn got 40% of the vote. He got some votes there.
I'm a little bit shocked though, especially since I've got Venom Boy sitting here beside me, and
The other one's Spawn.
he didn't vote for Venom. That it survived. That's a little shocking.
Yeah.
This is a Venom survival without Tyler vote. Can you imagine? Who would've
Yeah,
thought?
it's crazy.
All right, so what we've got, and I don't have to change. I had a genius idea last night
Okay.
setting these up. I'll just go ahead and make the next frame the matchup. Electra 23 versus Venom 1 versus Hulk 340. So the way this works is you vote for one and one only.
I don't want anybody to misinterpret my opinion on Hulk 340 either.
You hate it, I know.
I like it a lot.
Okay.
I just think it's
I think
a
I'm
little overrated. I don't think it's one of the all-time greatest covers.
I think the reason you may feel that way is because you've come into things, 30 years after the covers come out, and there's been a lot of homages to this, and
Right.
it's just been kind of overused and played out at this
I
point.
think there's a lot of validity in that, and I'm also not a fan of early Hulk's art style whatsoever. I think it's hideous.
See Hulk there, you could see.
Well, this, ironically enough, isn't Hulk, early Hulk.
Well, he's
early.
gray, ugly Hulk in the.
It's a shadow in the blade.
But anyway,
I
this.
understand what's happening. I'm just saying that Hulk is hideous.
But what's here? All I'm saying is, to Mike. This adds to Mike's point. Actually, this is early Hulk to you. This isn't early Hulk though. Hulk was around 40 years before? No. Yeah. When was Hulk's first appearance?
This is like 20 some years.
I mean,
Okay.
I know what he looked like when he first started. I've seen the art, and he kind of looks like that in the reflection to me.
Well, my point is this was fresh. This is fresh Hulk to us. You know what I mean? This is when Hulk became something different to us. You know,
Mhm.
so the people that have been around for a while can really appreciate that too. You know, it was a cool, fresh take on Hulk. You know, with
Yeah.
McFarlane.
And they're
So I only like last 25, 30 year Hulk.
You're right. Don't say that. That makes my
I
head.
bet you he would like Dale Keown.
What's that?
I bet you he would prefer Dale Keown.
Yeah.
His Hulk. It's just more slick.
Yeah. He's, it's like we talk about the youngsters all the time.
I can broadly say it, Gray Hulk. I don't like Gray Hulk.
Okay, that would be a more specific way to say it that would be accurate. Yeah, he doesn't like Gray Hulk in general. Okay.
And they're still doing covers like this. There's the new DC, that Night Terror thing or whatever. There's
Yeah.
One of the Batman books has Batman in the Wolverine pose, and he's holding between his fingers, he's holding batarangs instead of claws, and it's got a reflection in there. So I mean, they're still even pushing the envelope with it on how they present it.
Well, I love this finals.
Yep,
I love
that's
it.
And Wolverine's blades look like machetes. They're really thick.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're not.
Well, they're not thick.
They're sideways.
They're angled. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but they're a lot longer than.
Okay, stop.
Right, let's stop beating
No,
them.
I hate this cover.
Hey, you know what? Save it for the polls. Go vote.
Hey, we probably shouldn't call this. This might be nitpicky, but for the future, we probably shouldn't call this round 5 anyway. This is just the finals, right? So people don't think there's another round after. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, that's true.
But man, yeah, I've said it a couple times already. I'm still loving it more and more every week. This Electra cover. The way I feel about this cover is definitely much stronger than when I first saw it. I just thought it was okay, but now I'm literally loving it. Like I want it. No, I don't think I have it. So
I still think it's just okay.
ugh.
I don't know how we made it this far.
Your opinion's okay.
So Patrick, you said you were underwhelmed with the semifinals, so you're still underwhelmed about the finals then, huh?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, it's those three. I don't know. I don't know if they really would represent the cream of the crop of all those covers that we started with.
No, it does, Pat.
I'm with
In my
Pat
opinion.
100%.
No, you both are factually wrong.
No.
I'll tell you one right here. That Deathstroke should have been.
No,
Yeah, the
you're
Deathstroke
wrong
should
too.
be there.
This is science, okay?
This is science.
Science.
We have proven through a democratic voting that these three are the cream of the crop of the 48 that were submitted.
Yeah, there were 48 covers submitted, and this is the top 30.
Yeah, exactly. Think about how wrong you are then, Mike, or Ty. And you too, Mike. No, I'm just kidding. Well, this is what I'm hoping because, well, I guess we don't want Electro to win because Patrick doesn't really like that one. We don't want Venom to win because Tyler doesn't like Venom. And we're all three of us are in agreement that this 340 is classic. So we all want 340 to win. So
No.
I'm just going to skip this.
Karen, you don't want 340 to win?
No.
What do you want, Electra?
No.
Oh, you want the Venom, Halloween Venom.
That's
Okay.
what I chose.
Karen has chimed in as well. So there you go.
Halloween's also my least favorite holiday.
Your least.
Holiday?
You like Valentine's Day better than Halloween?
Nice, Mike.
Valentine's Day isn't a holiday on my calendar.
Okay, so he basically said yes.
All right, can't wait to. I'm going to see how next February 15th is for you. You celebrate.
Major holiday.
Oh, there we go. Man. Qualifier.
I like President's Day more than Halloween because I get the day off. It's got that going for it.
You don't
I'm gonna
consider
close-
Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day major Halloween or holidays?
No, St. Patrick's Day is cool. I just think Valentine's Day is the dumbest holiday ever made.
That's not good to say. It makes all the women in our life happy.
Oh
so.
yeah, I am on the live stream.
Yes, exactly. Maddie just heard everything.
No, she already knows how I feel about Valentine's Day.
Really? We're gonna have a serious talk about that, not on a live streaming podcast.
You know,
Anyway,
Patrick and I still have our kids are younger than yours, but it just shows you never stop parenting.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
The reason I have issues because there's already so much going on, and I don't have kids. I'm like, Valentine's Day. Who made this up? That's what I say.
People that know that women love flowers, cards, candy.
Yeah, and they get that all the time already.
She does. I'm gonna have to check it. I'll get back to you guys about how factual that statement.
And then there's just another
Tyler
special event.
I just went through everyone in the room before I actually called you your name. I'm like,
sweet.
Anyway.
All
All right. So great job, Mike. I think Cover Combat 4 is a big success. I hope the fans agree. So, okay, now we want to get into a short but sweet what Kevin watched. Are you guys ready to see if it's even possible for that to be the case?
Yeah,
I'm ready.
Set a goal before you can make it.
All right. Okay, so believe it because it's true. Okay, here we go. I watched Portals. It's a 2018 piece of trash on Vudu that no one in their right mind would spend the time to watch after hearing my review. And I'm not lying, so don't waste your time. The biggest thing that makes me so frustrated that I wasted my time on this is it, man, the story had potential and the actual special effects and acting aren't too horrible. It's actually okay until you try to get any kind of payoff whatsoever. And it's just once the credits roll, you're wondering, the heck did I just watch? Literally, like I could not answer one question other than what you can figure out from this poster, that there are doors that form all over the world and make portals. That's the only thing I know after sitting through the entire movie. So it's dumb. Don't watch it. All right.
That just makes me want to watch it.
Well, unless you want to go that direction that, it's so bad you want to see how bad it is because you don't believe me. Then, ironically enough, we'll move into another show that I've been bashing over the last few weeks. Silo. I watched Silo on Apple TV, episode 7.
I think it's last night's, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Are you caught up on this yet, Mike?
No, I didn't have a chance to watch it.
Well, like I said, ironically enough, I think you commented at the beginning of my review of Silo or maybe at the end of it last week, that my review did not surprise you because it wouldn't, the odds are against the fact that it would take a big left turn and become good all of a sudden, But guess what, Mike?
It did?
The show took a big left turn. This episode was pretty cool.
Good.
The acting was good, writing was good, directing was good, and the story moved along, and I was on the edge of my seat for most of this, and it had a extremely exciting cliffhanger ending. So this is the first time I think I've said since episode 1 and 2 that at the end of this, I'm like, oh man, I wish I could watch the next episode right now because it was really good. So
such a relief to hear.
Yeah. And ironically enough, I asked Jessie, can I just watch this? Because I told you she was disappointed too. It's like, can I just watch this and I'll let you know if it's any good and you come back? She goes, yeah, I'm not even going to bother anymore unless you tell me it's good. So ironically enough, the first episode she didn't watch was this one as well. I told her the same thing on the way up. But we'll see still. I can't endorse the entire season yet just because of finally another decent episode. And that's the other thing. You know how it goes. We've had garbage. So, your lens of how you're viewing something changes. So this might not be that good. It's just it wasn't garbage in my opinion. So I all of a sudden, want to vault it to this is pretty great. How that works, but it's definitely much better than the previous two. That's for sure. And then lastly, I watched Avatar: The Way of Water. Have either? Well, Mike, I know you haven't seen it. Pat, did you say you saw this? No, yeah.
No, I did not see it.
You saw the first one though, right, Pat? I know Mike.
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's surprising to me? I wasn't even aware of about this movie. Do you know how much money Avatar made?
A lot.
Do you have a number though?
No.
Mike?
It was number one for a while, wasn't it?
Do you have a number, Mike?
I don't know. Did it hit $1 billion? I don't know.
Okay, yeah, you're way off. It surpassed 2 billion. Okay.
So yeah, $1 billion.
Yeah, and it's still currently number one.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
After all the MCU movies.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Guess what's number two at over 2 billion as well? Avatar: The Way of the Water.
How much are tickets? $100 a piece?
That's exactly the impression I had as well, Mike.
Nobody's talking about this movie except for you right now.
Exactly. I actually had to research, and in most of the articles I read researching this, that's exactly what they said. They're like, how did Avatar: The Way of Water make $2 billion and nobody saw it?
All right, so what's your thought on it?
It's pretty good. I'm an Avatar fan, first of all. I think I mentioned that already. So this is not, in my opinion, as good as Avatar. Mostly, though, because it's extremely similar. Okay. But with, as you can imagine with the name of it, The Way of the Water, the big difference is in the first Avatar, it's mostly sky stuff. They're riding dragons and they're in the trees, and it takes place in like a tropical rainforest type setting in on another planet where it's all alien, of course. But this one, they are forced out of that area because the people that they fought in the first one come back as avatars, ironically enough. And they're after him and his family specifically because he was the reason they were beaten in the first movie. So they run away to a different Avatar tribe, or they're not Avatar. I forget what the name of the alien race is, but he's an Avatar. That's why it's called Avatar. But what's the name of the alien race? Pat, help me out. Karen? No? Anyway, I should know that, but I apologize. But anyway, it's the same as the alien race he's been amongst in the first movie, except now instead of sky and tree people, they're water and beach people. Which is it's a pretty cool transition though, because as you can see on the poster there, they don't have dragons they fly around, but they do have these they're kind of like flying fish. They're able to swim underwater on them. And then they're able to also kind of glide across the water using their tail. You can see in that picture. So, and again, what I really appreciate about Avatar, obviously it's beautiful, but just the imagination it takes to come up with all these different creations that are in both of the avatars. The Navi, right? Did I remember it? Yeah. So, anyway, the originality of all these amazing imaginative creatures that are similar to what we know, but obviously different to where they're alien. That's the biggest thing I love about Avatar. The story overall was, like I said, it was okay. It was just extremely similar. He's got a family now as well, so that's added on to it. And then, of course, his family forming relationships and blah, blah, blah. So I give Avatar: The Way of Water a solid 8. It's good, I would probably give the first one an 8.5. So it's not like it's not a lot, it's not like it's a lot better than the second one, but it's just a little better, because it's completely original. You know how that works. So So check out Avatar: The Way of the Water. I recommend it. Add on to its billions of dollars of success already, apparently. Incidentally, in the top 4, one of the other top 4 is another James Cameron movie. What's that one, Mike?
Transformers.
Titanic.
Transformers.
Oh, Titanic.
Yeah, Titanic. That's why I asked Mike, because I figured you'd know right off the bat, Pat. But yeah,
Sorry.
can you imagine that? In the top 4, you got 3 of the top 4, and they're all over $2 billion as a director. You know, can you imagine?
Yeah.
It's crazy. So anyway, I've shocked Tyler. He's over here with his gaping mouth. Can't believe it. But anyway, so that's all I got.
Care for Avatar.
There's your truncated. So how did I do? How many minutes was that? They want to keep track?
It's more than 5.
Was it more than 5?
Yeah, I think the Avatar was 5. The other ones were maybe like 2.
Okay. Try to keep it under 10 though. So that's good. Okay. Although this time we're still talking, still counts. So I better move on. All right. Are we ready for, guess what? Guess what? Not only do we have a new segment, guess what else we have new, Pat?
Whoa, a new intro.
Yeah. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
So that's why I went with 9.
So what did you think of that?
It's to the point.
Yeah, exactly.
Just as previews is going to become obsolete. We do this.
That was it wasn't a rush job. I wasn't like intentionally trying to rush it. It was just I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
But that's actually could you tell that's actually the current previews cover that we're all holding too?
Yeah. Nice.
Did you guys notice the only action in that video spot too?
That went by pretty quickly.
All right, check it out again. We don't mind since it's so short, right?
Right.
Tyler, check this out. See if you can see the only action when me and Mike and Pat are in the room too. You ready? Here we go.
That's not good. He seemed to have an infestation.
Yeah.
It's going after that cheese on Mike's shirt from.
Nice, exactly. It was so lackluster. I'm like, I gotta add something. What can I add? So I came up with that silly thing. So anyway. All right. So how are we gonna work this preview segment? We're gonna just kind of round robin it like we do the recap, essentially.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I do have that. I like that, but there's going to be a hiccup in mine because I had something that led into other ones.
Mm.
And they're all right after each other.
How many of those? I mean, like, I don't think that's really a problem. We can just, however many you need to lead into another one, we can do that, right, Pat?
Yeah.
All right, cool, because it's 10. I'm kidding.
They're all linked.
Yeah.
They have a theme.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
All right, so it's going to be 1, 10, 2. All right, so here we go, though. Let's see how this goes.
okay.
And just to let the audience know, too, other than what our statements were, that we're going to pick out 10 items from the current previews, which for anybody listening or watching that are not aware, previews is a catalog that comes out every month that shows the upcoming comic books, manga, action figures, statues, even some games for 2 months from now, right? Is it 2 months, right? What releases now, what we're showing now is going to drop in August. Is that right, Mike?
Yeah.
So we didn't put any rules on how we're going to do this. We could show the same things. And we didn't even talk about how we're going to show it other than let's just have pictures to show.
Yeah.
So I'll set this off. Man, my computer's lagging though. Here we go though. Okay, here's my first one. I figured I'd start out with the least exciting of mine. I'm actually interested in this. This is the Marvel Comics Library X-Men Volume 1, 1961 to 1966 hardcover compilation of a lot of the original X-Men. This is similar to I had that big Captain America. It's like $200, right? It's like really big, So this is something when I saw, and the way I looked at this too. Here's the other thing too. This is just my perspective. Pat and Mike could be different. The way I looked at this too was if money was no object for me, what would I grab out of here? Is that how you guys kind of looked at it too?
Mm-hmm.
No.
And I would definitely grab this. So, all right,
Yeah.
that a good
So
start?
This is like this. That book is
Yeah,
really like this book, right? So, holy cow,
yeah,
that'd be great.
yeah. All right, Pat, what do you got?
My first pick is The Outer Spacemen, published by American Myth. I'm not familiar with this publisher, but I'm not surprised this is coming out under a small publisher imprint. This is based on a toy line from the 60s that was revived, I'd say probably 10 years ago. They brought it back. They teamed up with the Four Horsemen, who are known for their great sculpting jobs and making action figures. They released quite a few of them, and since then they've kind of diverged paths with the Four Horsemen, but they keep putting out new figures sporadically, not in great numbers and great waves like they used to, but they're pretty neat. If you want to go back and look at the history of them, they were sort of that first mixed action figure with alien races and things like that. And like I said, going back to the 60s. So that was kind of unique for the time.
Wow, I definitely want to check that out. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Now, how that translates to a comic book, I have no idea. I think this may have been a Kickstarter actually way back when. I didn't back it. And like a lot of Kickstarters, it's coming out, after the fact through normal publishing venues, and that's the case here. They're finally getting it out, so you're going to get it if you do a pre-order. You can get it as a discount. You're not going to pay that extra fee for backing a Kickstarter. So this might be on my list to pick up.
Very cool.
By
I like that one.
Fabian Nicieza and Chris Batista as the artist.
Fabian, the other guy that created Deadpool.
Yeah, right. And that's the thing, that no real backstory. That was one of the, back in the 60s, toys weren't tying to other what do I want to say here? I'm a loss for word. But they didn't have a toy line or a cartoon, to tie into. So that's, they're finally kind of doing something with that. So these guys have no history. So Fabian can go and create whatever he wants, I guess.
Yeah.
So it was just whether kids thought they looked cool on the shelf and they'd want to play with them without any further information
Yes,
whatsoever.
exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
All right. First up, we're going to start with Sacrificers #1 from Image. And this comes out August 2nd. Written by Rick Remender, and the art is Dave McKeag. The quick synopsis is, in order to keep a harmonious paradise, 5 families have to sacrifice one child. And one of these children, along with another kind of wealthy kid, get together and they try to take it all down. So
This one was definitely on my radar. I didn't pick it, but I almost picked it.
Yeah.
That's the strategy too. That's the other thing too. Again, as we're kind of going through this first time we're doing this, I wouldn't call it a strategy, obviously, because this wasn't a competition, but for lack of a better way to describe it, my strategy as far as what I was going to pick, because I started with, when I just went through it, I actually started with 18, and this was one of my 18. But then to whittle that down, I went with, okay, I would like to have something different, like 10 different things ideally. That was just my personal take on the objective, so.
Yeah.
It's very cool though. Yeah. All right. The next one I've got is, these are reprints. Will Eisner's comics and sequential art. And, we're at a limit for pictures on this show. So this is kind of a group pick for me. The Will Eisner graphic storytelling and visual narrative as well. And then lastly, Will Eisner's expressive anatomy for comics. This kind of thing, kind of how the donuts are made, or what's that phrase they say? This delving into the business of making comics and how the artists do it and how all of it happens, and these stories are. This is very interesting topic to me too, as well. So again, if I were picking these up, I'd grab these. These are, pretty easy to, based on the titles, to tell what they're about. They're just kind of explaining how it all works, right? Have you guys ever seen these before? Because these are reprints. Seems like they were printed the first time a while ago. So these are just kind of another printing of it that they're submitting. They're presenting as purchasable. You know what I mean? Is that, I don't know. I'm butchering how I say it, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah. Previously offered before.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, but they're very cool. So yeah, I would definitely grab these again if money was no object. So, incidentally, too, I will say this too, since I'm talking about these right now, because these are the first ones I noticed on these. When I was doing my research on these are actually $24, $23.95. If you get them through this previews, but if you look online for these, the other copies of them, they're like, you can get them for like $12, $10, $9.
Yeah.
So, I don't know whether you guys knew this from the past, but that was actually the first time it dawned on me that if I see something in previews I want, even if I could afford to get it from previews, maybe I need to seek it elsewhere, like use previews as a way to find out I want it, but then seek the best deal that I may find it elsewhere, of course.
For sure.
So,
Yep.
So, all right, Mike, my screen's still lagging. So
Patrick's next.
I'm sorry. I'm Pat.
It's okay. We have another new pop-up of a creator stable called Distillery, and they have the Devil's Cut one shot. It's weird. I'm glancing at Kevin and he's still talking over there. It's kind of distracting.
Sorry about it.
This is, I think, kind of just a preview of all the creators who are under this Distillery imprint. I think you have have big names here. Did I have that pulled up somewhere? I think I did. Maybe not. Yeah, Scott Snyder, James Tinian, Mirka Andolfo, Jock, Becky Cloonan, Brian Azzarello. A lot of high profile people they're supposedly going to be under this Distillery imprint making comics. And this seems to be like it's 72 pages. Just probably short little snippets. I wouldn't be surprised if they're taken directly from future comics that they're planning to put out there, just to give you a taste of everything that could be in store from these creators. So it's kind of interesting. So I put it on my list. The Devil's Cut.
So Distillery, are they going to be kind of similar to Image, where like Image doesn't own anything, and they just publish the stuff?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Although they have talked about some NFT stuff, which I just kind of put blinders on and didn't even pay attention to that stuff. But yeah.
All right, I'm having technical difficulties. I can't even see anything. But
Yeah.
I'm looking at Karen's computer and I can see it on hers, but I can't even see it on my screen.
When's the last time you rebooted that laptop, Kevin?
Every week, I definitely turn it off once I'm done with all
Okay.
my work. Yeah.
Wow.
Can you put it? Can you put it? Try to take it down and put it back up again.
Me?
Yeah.
It's not a very exciting cover.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I see it now. Okay. 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 Gotcha.
All right, I'm up next with Death of the Venomverse, number 2 of 5, and this comes out August 16th. And we're introduced to Venom Boy,
Oh no.
and this is the Venom Boy variant. This is not the A cover. He looks silly. But what a key I wanted to point out to here, this also has a Dave Michelini story in it that is in the vein of Lethal Protector. So that's the main highlight, I think, Dave Michelini over the Venom Boy. But you never know what's going to catch on.
Right.
This is the main. You're calling the main highlight of Death of the Venomverse. This Venom Boy.
No,
Oh, okay. What do you mean? What are you saying? That's the main.
Dave Michelini story in it.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, okay, gotcha.
There are different stories in here.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
If you're a fan of like the Lethal Protector stuff, this has one of those stories in there. But I wanted to highlight out of all the variants and A cover and stuff, also it contains Venom Boy.
If I didn't just recently make the decision to cut down my collection to just main titles, this one, that Death of Venomverse looked interesting. Did that look interesting to you too, Pat?
It's kind of a neat cover. Subject matter not considered, but yeah, it's probably one I'll be passing on. Just not the biggest Venom fan, you know.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think that series is probably in line with Tyler would probably enjoy that 5-issue series.
Yeah.
I've seen that one.
And that was actually part of the. I'm probably still going to have to talk myself out of it multiple times because the fact that it's only 5 issues helps, you know, as far as, you know, if I wanted to get it, you know, be like, oh, it's only 5 issues, not like the other thing that is coming out in August. But anyway, then, okay, this is similar but different than what I just picked last.
That's what I was thinking of when you talked about the other.
Yeah, and this is kind of the same in the way too. This is 3 books that they have solicited in the previous previews. The one I'm showing here, of course, is Understanding Comics. These are all by Scott McCloud. Then the other 2 are The Making of Comics, and then Reinventing Comics. Again, kind of behind the scenes, you know, narrative of exactly what the titles kind of state. And again, I would be interested to kind of get all those nuggets of info. These are pretty cool, you know, so.
Yeah, these look like they have a lot more words than pictures in them, so I'm out.
Yeah. So anyway, that's all I got. Another set of those.
All right. So Graphics, I think, is an imprint of Scholastic Books. Jeff Smith has another new Bone book out called More Tall Tales. And this led me to find out that for some reason I don't have the first Tall Tales hardcover. I tried to look for it this morning and it's nowhere to be found. It could be because I passed on it because it was basically reprinting a mini series in color, but I'm surprised I don't have it. I think this looks to be all new material. Both of them are short stories set prior to the main Bone comic. So it's sort of the Bone cousins sort of sitting around telling stories to younger Bone children. So not only am I going to probably have to order this one, but I'd have to dig up a copy of the first Tall Tales hardcover so I can have them all on my shelf here.
Very cool.
But if you never checked out Bone, it's a really good series. I don't know if this might give you a little bit a taste for what the series is like, but I'd recommend just starting at the first issue or the first collection and going from there. It's a really, really good, fun story.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 4 or 5 years ago, I I was getting Cora the trades for it, and I started rereading some of it. Holy cow! It's just the funniest stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I'm gonna run through three things combined here.
Okay.
So we're gonna start with Ghost Rider, Wolverine, Weapon of Vengeance. This is the George Perez cover. So I guess Marvel's doing a bunch of George Perez variants for all the different books. I like this one out of all the variants for this Alpha title. There's also so this the Alpha comes out August 9th, and it's part 1. August 30th is the Omega cover, which I don't have that yet. That comes out August 30th. This is basically a team up between Wolverine and Johnny Blaze, and somewhere in this 4-part series, we're gonna tell about their first encounter. But so part 1 and 4 is in Ghost Rider, Wolverine, Alpha, and Omega, and then part 2 is actually in Ghost Rider number 17, and I talked about this last week. This is the B cover. And then part 3 will be. I missed my thing up there. Part 3 is actually going to be in Wolverine number 36. So we have part 1 in Weapon of Vengeance, part 2 in Ghost Rider, part 3 in Wolverine, and then part 4 in Weapon of Vengeance again.
It's pretty cool.
There you go.
I'm only going to be getting one part of those.
Wolverine.
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting all 4. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I might have to borrow yours because, yeah, this is one that I'm going to have to resist not wanting to grab all 4.
Why?
Yep.
Because I've recently decided I need to just collect main titles. When they try to egg you on with these crossover events, I got to resist.
Well,
Because there's 3 of them in this. There's 3 of them in this previews, right?
3 what? Events?
Yeah.
Oh, there's all kinds of crazy stuff.
Well, 3 major crossover events from the main titles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I only get my main titles, but Carnage Reigns has an event, so I get the other books.
Right.
To get each
Exactly.
part.
You missed the Edge of Venomverse. You don't even know. You don't know about that yet, do you?
What do you mean?
I'll take that as
Well,
a yeah.
I mean, I know.
I mean, not the Edge of Venomverse. Mike, you want to put it up real quick?
Talking about Extreme.
Death of Venomverse.
Oh yeah, I've already got that in my list.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Good. I'm glad. I figured that's right up his alley. He's in.
Yeah.
No,
It's the Venomverse. For crying out
Yeah.
you guys talk about that.
Yeah. Well, you're.
Noel's coming back if you didn't know.
loud. So, yeah, stand by when in August and September. I'll review those books. I'll probably do it in September. I'll just read all of them and just review the whole story.
Right.
I'm almost caught up on all Carnage and Venom.
Nice. This next one might surprise you quite a bit, but hear me out. I'd actually grab this. This is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 30th anniversary special by Boom Studios. And I actually have quite a history with Power Rangers. When Power Rangers first came out, my stepbrother at the time, he was all about them. And so that kind of introduced me to Power Rangers. And then as my boys grew, and obviously the Power Rangers have been around for 30 years, you know, and my oldest is getting ready to turn 30, you know. I've watched many of the seasons of Power Rangers. So although I really don't know a whole lot about what this story is going to be about, I did love this. This is the connecting cover. I mean, a wraparound. This is a wraparound cover by Bon Bernardo. And it's got kind of all of the season, you know, the seasons of all the Power Rangers and the villains kind of in one book. So, you know, even though obviously this isn't super expensive anyway, and even though I'm not really that big of a Power Rangers fan, with my history with Power Rangers, I'm probably going to grab this one, you know? So I thought it was pretty cool, you know? And they're doing a lot with Power Rangers lately with a lot of cool foil covers. And this is the A cover, and this is the Dan Mora cover. This is a pretty cool cover in general too. You know, even if you aren't really a Power Rangers fan, this is kind of a cool look in my opinion. So this will probably
Power Ranger stuff.
say that again.
Yeah.
I think Dan Moore does a lot of Power Rangers stuff, which I'm not into the Power Rangers, but I love his art. So I'm always like, I don't know. I'm not going to get that.
Yeah, right, exactly. But yeah, you can appreciate this cover too. I mean, this is pretty cool. So anyway,
My miscellaneous comic book box is a Power Ranger box.
oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, perfect example. There you go. So, all right, what you got next, Pat?
All right. So IDW continues to have financial woes, but that doesn't stop them from putting out more artist editions. These are large, oversized books, hardcover books that basically reprint 1-to-1 the original art pages. And this is the Frank Miller Daredevil volume. I don't think these are complete stories. A lot of times what they have to use what they can get. If pages go missing or they can't locate certain issues, pages, they don't include them unless they're doing complete stories. And sometimes they'll use copies of the originals for that, but they try to stick to the actual scans of the originals. If you're into art and original art, artist editions are awesome. They're expensive, they're large, but if you have certain artists that you love, you love their art, these are really something to take a look at. That being said, I don't have, even though I like, Frank's run on Daredevil, it doesn't really hold a place in my heart, I guess. That I'd be tracking this down. I probably won't be ordering this, but if you're a Frank Miller Daredevil fan, it's something maybe to seek out.
All right, yeah, that's pretty cool. Those are cool.
Yeah, I would definitely want all of those. The price is what
Yeah.
from them. It's
Yeah.
so great to look at the pencils and just
How much are these? Did you say that? I'm sorry, Pat.
I don't. I think this one may have been 150, but if you pre-order it, you get a pretty hefty discount. I think it's around 100, maybe, but that's still a lot.
Yeah.
But they're just so well done. It's the one thing, if something happens to IDW, I hope they find some means of continuing this, with another publisher. DC's sort of doing a similar thing. They've sort of partnered with Graphics, I believe, and they do their own version of the artist editions. But yeah, I'd hate to see them disappear completely.
Cool.
you can go again, Kev. Skip me because I did my triple.
Okay. So this is probably not going to be a surprise to y'all or anybody else that pays any attention to the show, because I mention this all the time. But they're putting out Fire and Ice in a comic book form. This is awesome Frank Frazetta art. And it's actually cool. I put up this too. I love this as well. I'm probably gonna have to grab both of these, even after I was just telling Tyler prior to the show that I didn't try to grab one cover of each book. But here's a great Sienkiewicz cover for Fire and Ice #1 as well. This is from Dynamite, and this is based on the old school movie. This is an old movie from I think from early 80s. Do you guys remember this movie?
I know of it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah,
It's not good. It's not good. But I definitely checked. I was into the old Barbarian stuff. So I definitely plan on picking this up. But Fire and Ice #1 by Frank Frazetta and Dynamite.
All right. So did you collect comics in the 90s, early 2000s? And if so, you may have read Battle Chasers. And it's back. This is issue 12, but the reason I mention it, and unfortunately I can't show it here because cover D is an Art Germ cover, and I don't think it's been shown anywhere. I even tried to check Stanley Lau's, personal social media pages, and I don't see anything yet. So he's apparently still working on it. But I thought it would give me a good chance to mention Battle Chasers. They stopped, I think, at issue 9 back in the day, and we've been waiting, and they finally put out 10, 11, and 12, I believe. This is the latest issue from Joey Madureira. Unfortunately, he's only writing the stories, or he's not doing the artwork. He's doing the main covers, I believe. But I don't know. I think he's mainly done work for video game companies in the interim years between the last issue, and he hasn't found time to draw his own book. But we'll see what happens. I have ordered it. I have to say I wasn't the biggest Battle Chasers fan back in the day, but I do love his artwork. So
Okay.
if
I
you're
haven't seen much from him. The last thing I saw from him was that Savage Wolverine. And that's been almost 10 years now. I think.
Yeah, that's true too. I think that was his last comic book work. Yeah.
It was fantastic. Yeah, I love his style.
Yep.
All right, go ahead, Kevin. Skip me one more time, and then I'll be back in the rotation.
Okay, this is a good quick skip too. Anyway, too. So I wanted to put this up because it's Death of the Venomverse, but this isn't actually the comic. This is a picture of the actual comic because I couldn't find a picture of what was solicited in the book that I want, which is the no trade dress of this picture. That's a poster. They actually have a page of posters that were submitted, and I've always been a big poster geek. I've got some great old classic comic book posters, and man, they don't hold value at all. Nobody wants posters, it seems. And as you grow up, posters become more of a minimal part of your life. But if I can find I guess if I just order them, they're $9 posters, which ain't cheap for posters, but this is a cool one, especially, we take the trade dress away. It's just awesome. And just as a added bonus, which I didn't really figure I needed a picture for, they're also soliciting a poster for ASM 300. It's literally a poster of the cover, and I'll probably be grabbing that too as well. I want to kind of a little interrupt to just interject this real quick. Since I haven't exactly had all the money I need, with obviously all the money I want, with all the endeavors we've got going on with everything with Xcellar, obviously funds are short. I've intentionally not looked through previews for probably 3 or 4 months because I'm intentionally like, why do I want to put myself through this? Kind of attitude,
If you don't know it exists, you don't know you want it.
Exactly. So I want to. This previews was your idea in general, right, Mike, or was it you, Pat? I can't remember.
It was Mike, I think.
Was Mike?
Well, it depends on how claim it. If
If it's a good thing.
you're gonna blame me for something, yeah,
It's definitely a good thing. I want to extend a thought of gratitude towards you because now I enjoyed this experience thoroughly. We ain't even done, of course, but I enjoyed this thoroughly, and I was so thankful because you gave me a reason to look through it, which I enjoy so much.
Mhm.
I guess time will tell whether it might mess me up because I won't be able to resist buying this stuff. But I can talk myself out of, okay, I can look at it and the purpose, to answer my question again, before you mentioned this idea, why am I putting myself through this? The reason I'm doing it is for the show and to let other people know that may be able to afford these things or that aren't aware of it, that they exist. But man, it was so much fun. And again, I've always been a big poster fan. So seeing these posters, since they aren't that expensive, I might bump a comic or two out of this month's order to grab this Death of Venomverse poster and ASM 300 posters. That's the other thing too. I like to collect posters, kind of like comic books, where you have them in a big frame. You know how they have those displayed typically in comic store, collectible type stores, where they're on the floor in a big poster sheath or whatever bag or whatever, and you can kind of go through them, kind of like books in a short box. That's what I would love to have with all my posters, because obviously I don't have the room to hang them all over the place, but I sure would like to have them accessible to enjoy and look at, and maybe swap them out on the wall, but anyway, so a couple posters for my next choice.
Well, the reason I think as we got older, posters became less and less relevant to us is because then we had wives, and
right,
it's not important to wives at all, and they don't want the living room to look like a dorm room.
Right, exactly.
I'm not quoting my wife exactly there, but
all right, what you got, Pat?
All right. I had to spotlight this from Marvel. This is Daredevil 14. This is the last issue of the Chip Zdarsky, Mark Cicchetto run. It's a little late to be starting to order it on number 14, but I just wanted to mark the milestone. If you haven't read it, you should go back and pick up some issues in the back bin.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's like you said, good way to go back and grab it, read it. Yep.
I'm gonna jump in here with this one. Spider-Man number 11 comes out August 16th, and it's Spider-Boy again. He's still popping back in. I think there's a gap, a couple of issues without him, and then he has an origin coming up in one of the Edge of Spider-Verse books. Here he is again, and the thing with this one, I don't know if it's oversized or not. It's a $4.99 cover price. Marvel is, I think they're starting to sneak those $4.99 cover prices in there, so make sure you look before you get register.
Are either of you read up on this Spider-Man run?
No.
I wasn't gonna get it, but I got issue 1 because I had the Art Adams cover.
Yeah.
And then I just was like, oh well, I like number 2's cover. I got that, so I've been getting it, but I've actually considered dropping it because I'm not reading it.
Yeah, doesn't seem like you should though.
Yeah, I mean value. I think some of these, if Spider-Boy turns out to be popular or everybody likes his origin or who he ends up being or whatever,
right? Okay,
could be something down the road. But yeah, like Patrick just highlighted Daredevil. I need to go back and read the previous volume, so I have plenty to read.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, everybody still go ahead and get this one.
I thought this next choice for me, the pick 3, was a little ironic for me, because I never heard of this before. I saw this in this issue of previews. Again, I told you I've been avoiding previews for a few months, but Something Epic, the new Image book that was is going to be in our pick 3 this week, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, dadgum. What issue is that? I mean, not to kind of spoil pick 3, but what issue is that? Is that issue number 1 or 2?
No, I think it's number 3. No, it's number 2.
Number 2? Okay.
Not that far out.
Yeah, so this is Something Epic number 4, and then apparently it must be a thing because of the Something Epic number 2 that you submitted for the pick 3. And I love this art. This cover A, is this by Kodransky?
Yeah, I think he does everything. I think he's writing it.
Yeah, okay, yeah. He does them all, yeah.
He's
Because I got a couple other ones to submit, which are really cool about them, is the homage covers. So love this, what's Rambo 3 homage poster, cover, poster, homage or whatever. And then, of course, Raiders of the Lost Ark poster, homage, cover. Those are all pretty cool. So I might have to see if I can grab Something Epic #1 apparently, since it's already out, and when I'm grabbing Something Epic #2 this week, because that well, Mike will highlight that shortly here. But yeah, I'm going to be grabbing this.
These.
Say it again, Mike. I'm sorry.
I kicked myself for not ordering these. It was on my radar, and then I was just like, I can't add another title. And if you go back to the A cover, all the A covers are very similar with that frame. Yeah, they're all very similar with the color scheme and everything. So you get a nice. I'm all for uniformity, so it's very uniform through the A covers, and then the variants are all movie themed covers. So it's really fantastic. I don't know if it's issue 3 or 4, but I think there are a bunch of Image characters are supposed to pop
Yeah,
up.
that's what it says the story's about in general. It's like a multiverse thing, and all kind of Image characters are going to be appearing throughout the entire storyline, I guess.
So yeah, I wish I would have got it. I might backtrack on it.
Well, it seems like Something Epic #1's probably still in the store. So, as I found Expanse 1 and 2 in the store this week. So anyway, so Something Epic for me.
Yep.
Pat.
All right. I'll switch these two around because this sort of is similar, and Mike did a spotlight on this, so he probably could talk about it better than I. But it's Sean Gordon Murphy's The Plot Holes. I have not really followed his work a great deal, but I think this looks really cool, and it's sort of kind of the same thing Kevin was just talking about, where there's these different characters from different genres kind of coming together, and to form this ragtag team. It just looks really interesting.
Yeah, that's on Mike's. Be on the lookout, which you can check out the info on that through Facebook or the website. What's that again, Mike? Sorry.
Yeah, have a look at it soon, because within the next few days I'm going to change it.
Yeah, so if you want more information on it, hit up Xcellar's website. There's a lot of cool variant covers for the book, and it just looks like I'm definitely on board for this. It's published by Massive. We talked a little bit about that. We're sort of Whatnot Publishing had this sort of sub imprint Massive, and it looks like this is the first standalone from Massive by itself. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna order this book.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I didn't even, I actually did read a little bit of what Mike posted about this, but I didn't even realize that this was a printing of Massive by itself. So okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, because I love werewolves, we have Lunar Lodge #3. I think it's just a 3-issue series. It's from Dark Horse, and the soliciting is really strange on this. It's this issue #3 solicited now, but the release date's been changed. #1 comes out August 9th. #2 comes out September 6th, and then #3 is October 4th, which this one is. So you still have time to order #1 and 2. But basically, Lunar Lodge calls to confirm a woman's reservation, and her husband trails her to the lodge, and it seems like she's a werewolf. Turns out.
It's pretty cool.
He didn't know, I guess, until he trailed her to the lodge. The art looks amazing, and I love werewolf stories. Most of the time, they're not great. I don't know why, but this one looks good.
Awesome.
There you go.
All right, next up for me is a Spider-Man book as well. This is Spider-Man Annual #1, and I love this cover by R.B. Silva. This is my Wolverine. This is my favorite. Karen didn't like it, apparently. But anyway, this is my Wolverine, as far as my favorite Wolverine that I love to see the most in anything. And then to boot, again, we just talked about nobody, none of us are reading this new Spider-Man run. I really don't know what's going on here. It says something about Agatha Harkness is building a new dark world, and she's pitting Earth's mightiest heroes against each other in the contest of chaos, I guess. That's not really the appeal to this. It's this is my Wolverine. I love this cover and I love this art. And then lastly, and I'm going to kind of maybe plant a seed right here. I want to have a unique topic of the week in the future, maybe sooner than later, now that I'm mentioning it, of our top 10 favorite personal stories. Like what comic stories are our top 10 personal favorites? Because as soon as I saw this cover, this took me to what will definitely be in my top 10, which is the, Wolverine versus Spider-Man one shot, which this cover doesn't exactly look like it, of course, but that's what it reminded me of immediately. So it attracted me to it. So I just included it in my list. I'll probably be grabbing this since it is, since it's an annual. I'm assuming I may not have to really have any information from the other Spider-Man books to be able to read and appreciate this. So I'll definitely be grabbing Spider-Man Annual #1, featuring Contest of Chaos.
Yeah. Contest of Chaos is the annual crossover through all the Marvel books where they're all pitting heroes against each other.
Okay. Isn't this great though?
Yeah, that's fantastic. And then just like you, when I saw that, I went right back to that one shot from the 80s. I love that book.
You love that book too much, or Pat?
Can't say I'm a huge fan of that book. I remember reading it, but it didn't leave an impression on me.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's early when we first started reading books.
Right.
That had already been published, and we ended up getting it. And we're still early in Wolverine and all that.
Yeah.
This was so great.
Yeah.
I haven't read it since then. So
I've read it a couple times. It's so great, in my opinion. So
I'm afraid that it'll end up being like the movie Phantasm, where I end up watching it later. I'm like, nah, it's not as great as I thought.
All right. What you got, Pat?
All right. This is one I probably bought, or I'm probably going to buy for the cover alone. And that's What If Dark Venom. Just because it's a Nick Bradshaw homage to Fantastic Four 51 classic cover. And I think I saw him post this art on his social media and I immediately loved it. I don't know about the coloring job. It seems like there's something a little bit off on this, but I'm curious to see what the final version will look like. But yeah, I just think it's pretty neat. So I'll be picking it up. Yeah.
Did you happen to read? Because these were on my radar as a choice of mine too, but I wasn't really getting it. Does it seem like these are going to be what ifs that are all involving Venom? That's what's What If Dark. They're all like kind of what if scenarios, huh?
Yeah, not Venom, but I think they're just like dark storylines or dark, what ifs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it definitely seems interesting. I'm I love the what ifs, the classics at least,
Yeah.
So there you go,
Yeah.
Tyler. A what if Venom for you. Sweet. Yeah.
All right. This took me a while to put together. This is a real pain in the butt. So we've got Walking Dead Deluxe number 6772. It's a 6-issue connecting cover set by Connor Hughes. And I really like what Kirkman's doing with the Deluxe. There's usually a set of 6 connecting covers been ongoing throughout most of the series. A few times they take issues off. I really like this set. We've got issue 67 actually was solicited prior, but that comes out July 19th. 68 is August 2nd, and 69 is August 16th. So basically, it's every other week a new issue comes out. I think that's a fantastic connecting cover set.
Nice.
The more I looked at it, the more I liked it. Initially,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not going to get that one because I got the last few. But the more I looked at it, I was like, man, that is just so good. So,
Those are very cool, and I'm looking forward to the day that you actually, or Pat, you know, this would be something that you two would do far more, or it would the odds of it happening with you two would be far better than it is for me. That you work out some way to display a cool connecting cover layout of you know how everything goes. You know, sorry for my I had to kind of scroll back around to where we were. But you know, when like, how would you display that, Mike? I mean, it's very cool to look at with the way you just showed it. But when you actually have these comics in hand, how are you gonna show that off? How are you gonna display that? You know?
well, I've seen some guys online that will go. I think they found picture frames that'll fit like a 3 or a 4 issue run. Mostly, probably I think 3 issues, and you know, like at Michael's or Hobby Lobby or something like that, you can find frames that'll fit. My problem is I would love to do that, but I don't like to display the books because of light.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest thing. But yeah, I would love to.
Well, it's only sunlight concern, right? If you didn't have a window near it, it'd be fine, right?
Probably. I mean, I even think just, yeah, if you had no sunlight, I still think light from the room, from the lamps and things like that will have an effect. Probably not that great. It'll probably take, I don't know, 50 years. So what am I worried about?
I don't think that's true. Is that true, Pat?
He's speechless.
Sorry,
Pat.
I was muted because my printer's going through a cleaning cycle. You know,
Oh.
I think there's UV glass you can get out there. I think it's the UV rays that generally is the light problem. But you know, if you don't want to take chances, you know, I can understand that. But you're right. It's probably not going to be a concern in your lifetime.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandkids are like, why did he do that?
Kevin just had to have them hang these on the wall. Find some way to get these on the wall, and now they're worthless.
Well, here, I'll make you this deal, Mike. However you work out, it'll be done. I'll buy the books we'll do it with. So that when they're destroyed by the light in 100 years, we won't care, or you won't care.
But I mean, these Walking Dead Deluxe, I don't think, as far as they're great. Yeah. If you're in it for the investment, I doubt that these are going to be.
Yeah, you're making a mistake, right? All right. Then I saw this cool little nugget in here, and I'm excited about this one. This is comic book trivia #1 by a publisher I'd never heard of. Which that's another comment I'm going to make about this previews. Is since all the big ones are running out, I guess we're going to see more of these publishers we've never heard of, right? I mean, that's kind of the benefit of everybody else leaving previews, right?
I don't know. What do you mean? I'm still pulling from different sources. But you think they're probably
you know, obviously DC's got its own little separate book, and Marvel's got its own little separate book. Image is getting ready to do that, right?
Yeah.
So as the big ones leave the book, obviously they took up most of the book. So previews still wants to have a big fat book to solicit, right? So they're going to have to fill it with something.
Yeah.
So they're going to start what?
Yeah. So the smaller ones will be highlighted more.
Exactly. That's my point, right? So this is by Blood Moon Comics. Were either of you familiar with this before this?
I've heard them.
Yeah, I've heard of Blood Moon before.
Well, see, perfect.
I think they've been around for quite a while.
Yeah, it makes sense that I'd be the last one to experience it.
Yeah, I don't think you waited to the back of previews.
Right.
Yeah. So this is a story about a kid who he's a comic book fan, and he makes a wish to only ever know comics, and he's teleported to another dimension where he's now in the role of a reader, and he must prove his worthiness by answering 150 comic book trivia questions. So it sounds fun, first of all. And then, obviously we've played a lot with comic book trivia through Xcellar through the years. I actually just recently incorporated comic book trivia into my Whatnot show with the ends of my Whatnot show, where I've affectionately referred to as facsimile trivia, where I put up a facsimile cover and I ask a trivia question. And if someone answers it correctly, they can decide if I add another facsimile to it or if I run that for $1. Because I've often said on Whatnot as well, you ain't making any money on Whatnot if if you're a show that has the followers that I have and the room activity that I have. If you put up books for $1, you're just going to go broke because they're going to all sell for $1. So that's why it's kind of a thing that I'll put up facsimiles, and I could get up to 5 facsimiles on the easel for $1. So that'd be a great steal for any fans of facsimile, which I am as well. But then it's also a fun way for me to ask some trivia during the show. So I have fun with doing that. So I'll probably be trying to track this one down. It's a $5.99 cover though, so I'll probably be tracking it down after the fact somehow. But that's what I got. Comic
So
book.
ongoing kind of. It's not just a one shot.
It seems that way, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. Sorry, I need to scroll back down to take that away. There we go.
All right, we're gonna head to the 80s again, and this is a sequel comic to Robotech. This is just called Robotech Rick Hunter. This sort of seems to fill in the gaps after the Macross saga and Robotech. I don't know what to think about this. I've picked up Robotech comics from time to time. I was a big fan of the animation back in the day. It always seemed like the comics, didn't really do it justice, and they kind of lost me. I'd be on board for a couple issues and then I'd go away. But this, I don't know. It's 4 issues. I might check it out. I might not. But it is. I'm always sort of intrigued in that timeline, what happened after Macross and between the other parts of the Robotech saga. So we'll see. This is from Titan Comics, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, I love Robotech too, but yeah, it's the cartoon that I was a big fan of, but I don't think I've ever read a Robotech comic. So
I actually had a letter published in a Robotech comic.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What was it about? The previous issue of Robotech?
Yeah.
Cool.
Sorry, I bumped the button, but I figured
That's okay.
there's a blank space. So next up, we've got the Enfield Gang Massacre, #1, and this is for fans of That Texas Blood, which I wish I had been reading that. I think it finished at issue 20. I'm not sure if issue 21 is coming out later this year. But anyway, That Texas Blood takes place, I think, in the 90s. This takes place 150 years prior, but it's still in Ambrose County, Texas. So it just looks like a great Western lawlessness type of story. With and I love Western books, so I'm gonna be grabbing this one. And maybe I That Texas Blood, I may just try to get the trades for it, because tracking down 1 through 20, I just never see it anywhere. Going back that far for cheap. I like dollar bins.
Yeah. Cool.
There you go. This comes out August 9th.
All right. Again, something that I might be behind the times on a little bit, because I haven't looked in the previews for a while, but these uncovered DC Comics. This is Catwoman uncovered, but they have Poison Ivy uncovered, solicited as well, which I'll probably grab that. Joker uncovered just came out this month. Are you guys familiar with that?
I saw this one, but
Yeah.
that's the first time I really noticed it.
Yeah, I actually saw Joker uncovered. It's kind of weird how these things happen, because I hadn't even looked in my previews yet for the preview segment. And, I was in the store last week, and of course, Joker, well, I should say, of course, but Joker Uncovered was on the rack, and I was like, what's this about? And looked through it, and it's literally just a book of a whole batch of cool Joker covers, which I mentioned on the last show. I'm not really a Joker fan, but were you aware of that, Mike?
Yeah, it was in pick 3 last week.
The Joker Uncovered was?
Mm-hmm. It was the
that Santa one?
Yeah.
Well, they released 2 Joker books last week. I thought that was the other one.
I thought that was the Uncovered. Either way.
Anyway, so it's a book of covers, which, no offense to Catwoman and Poison Ivy fans, but the only reason I ever grab Catwoman or Poison Ivy books are because of the covers. So I figured this is perfect for me to have a comic that is just covers of Catwoman and Poison Ivy. So I'll probably be grabbing those and maybe picking up this Catwoman one for my beloved sister, because she's obviously a big Catwoman fan. And it's they've only got like in the previews, they've only got like 3 or 4 covers shown as to what's in the book. So it should be pretty interesting to see what they include. I figured through the Joker Uncovered, and there was only like one in there that I liked, regardless of me being a Joker fan or not. As far as the covers they selected, they might be more covers that might be up your alley, though, Mike. Very stylized kind of covers, but But I'll definitely be grabbing both of these uncovers. And I was thinking about they'd be great to like have to, frame and stuff like that. So
what I don't recall is, do these books that contain a bunch of covers, do they have variant covers?
I'd actually assume that they're mostly variant covers.
No, I mean the actual book itself. Like, you can get the A cover, the B cover. So it's a book of covers, and then have different covers.
Are there variant covers of Catman or Catwoman Uncovered?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think so. Looking through the previews, I don't think there was. They only show the one. They don't talk about others, so I'd assume it's the only one.
Right.
But that's a funny question, though. Oh,
there you
go. All right, I have another book from Titan. This is Scarlet Couture. This is by Des Taylor. I've been following him for a long time. I like his style of artwork a lot. It's sort of like animated Disney retro style. And I actually have there was another Scarlet book, probably published like 5 years ago, as a graphic novel, and I have it, but it's just been sitting in my backlog, and I've never read it. And this is a limited series. It is, I think, of 5 maybe or 4. A 5. It's a 5-issue miniseries. If I decide to pick this up, I will probably wait for a collection, just so it can sit side by side with the other one I haven't read previously. Sit on the bookshelf, in a nice order. So, but his I don't know. It's to each his own. Again, it's preference, but I really like his artwork, and that alone was enough to make me pick up the book previously. So he's a neat artist. Draws pretty women. Check him out, Des Taylor. Gets an endorsement from Mark Millar there.
Okay.
There's your grandpa.
What's up, your grandpa? We in here, we out here. Well, okay.
All right, here. I accidentally put this up, and I saw Patrick laugh. I don't know if he knows what this one is. But leave it to Marvel. So it's classified. It's a number 1. It comes out August 30th. and they'll let you know all the information in July. But you can order it now.
Mhm.
The heck?
They don't. No, there's no title. There's no. There's actually.
Isn't so the title isn't classified? The name of the title isn't classified?
No, it's something else. I mean, they've got variant covers for it. They've got action figure variant covers for it. They've got team variant covers for it. But that's all they'll tell you. So come back in July and we'll find out what this is.
And this isn't the like Ms. Marvel, Death of Ms. Marvel, like
That's already been solicited. What was that called? I can't remember what that was called.
Fallen Friend.
Yeah, it was initially you had the title, but you didn't
No
know
information.
what it was. This is just completely blank. So, in that line of thinking, is this going to be another Miss Marvel? Who knows?
I'd say the possibility is high.
That's what they're. Yeah, I think they're just following that through. So, yeah. So check back. We'll find out what it is together.
Marvel has done this numerous times in the past, so this is nothing new for them. But yeah, it's
Seems like a goofy way to solicit it.
Yeah. Hey, I ordered one.
Did you really?
Well, Xcellar did. I didn't.
Okay. All right, and then I guess the last one for me is this complete collection of the Dark Crystal creation myths. This isn't exactly what they're showing is solicited in here. This is what they're soliciting in here. That I apologize, I got the wrong cover, but this is extremely similar to it. But it's just a collection of the Dark Crystal creation myths. It's a prequel to the original Dark Crystal that we know. This is a big hardcover book, $75. And I guess there's gonna be 4 of these collecting it all. So it looked really cool, and I'm a big Dark Crystal fan. So again, if money was no object, I definitely would be grabbing this. This was written by Brian Holquin, and the covers by Brian Froud. Which I'm not familiar with them. You guys might be, but definitely seems cool. So this would be something I'd grab out of there as well. You guys know anything about this?
no.
Nope.
Gotcha. You guys Dark Crystal fans?
Yeah.
I liked the movie when I watched it a long time ago.
That's one thing I need to review too. Is Dark Crystal their cartoon on Netflix as well? I think those are sequels to the movie, and this comic is a prequel to the movie. So there's a whole Dark Crystal that I'm not fully aware of that I hope I love as much as the movie. So
Right. Got anything else, Patrick?
No.
Okay. I've got 2.
did I have one extra, or didn't you have 10, Pat?
I had 10. I checked when you did that when I was like, did I not have enough here? But I did. I had 10.
Oh, I'm sorry about it. I cheated with 11. Daggum, I feel bad now.
Well, I've got 12.
Okay.
But these are just for the cover. I mean, you probably it's Star Wars, so people probably get it for that. But this is Star Wars Dark Droids #1. I think it's just a one shot from what I could tell so far. Comes out August 2nd, and this is a foil variant. And I think I shared with you guys earlier. This would look amazing in foil.
Yeah, definitely.
Glowing R2 on there. I think it's gonna be great. So that one, and then this one, I imagine Kevin's gonna hate it. This is a crazy cover. I love it. This is Night Terrors Batman #2, August 1st, and this is the 1 in 25 James Stocco cover, and this is so fantastic.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, I don't hate it, but yeah, you're right. I don't like it.
Yeah. It's a 1 in 25, so at the very least, I'm just not going to jump $25 or more for it.
Yeah.
Somebody out there might be your thing. I love it. It's great. So that's what I got.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and call it now. Preview is a great success. What say you, audience? Oh, I meant to keep track of the time on that too. Did anybody notice that?
I did not.
I didn't think it was quite an hour.
Well, when I'm rewatching and editing the podcast and all that, as the week goes on, I'll track it and see how we need to address that in the future. But again, everything we just showed is available in August. I mean, you can order it now. It's going to be released in August, and we will be doing a preview segment. The first weekend show of every month, right? Or no, the second.
Second. Yeah. That's what we're
Sorry
shooting.
about that. Yeah. Whatever day that the second show of every month lands on, we'll have the preview segment in it, which I'm pretty excited about doing that regular. And as with everything, especially when I take long road trips like I did yesterday, I like to revisit old episodes of us to see how we've changed and improved, evolved as time's gone on. And man, we have definitely done that a lot. So I'm sure that same thing will apply as we go through the evolution of the preview. So,
Great.
You guys have anything else to say about it?
I'm surprised no duplicates. That was surprising. I thought we'd at least have one.
Yep.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Some, you guys both on some that I was looking at. I'm like, oh, that might be kind of cool, but
You probably
yeah,
did.
I imagine we didn't have any dupes.
Yeah, that is crazy. And there was a couple that I intentionally avoided because I figured, oh, this is something, Pat will do. This is something Mike will do. That was another way for me to whittle down, So
Yeah.
that made it even better. So that's awesome. We know if we all three cross over with something at some point, it's going to be everybody's going to have to go order it immediately. So.
Yeah, that's why I like that idea that we don't know going in, because if that's true. If we all put it on our list, it must be good.
Yeah,
intriguing at least.
Yeah. All right, Mike, you were right. I just verified. Yeah, you did that. There were 2 Joker books not solicited, but that released this past Wednesday. But the Christmas Santa Joker disturbing cover is the cover for Joker Uncovered. But were you aware whenever you put that in pick 3 that entire book was nothing but Joker covers?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, all right, we ready for what's coming out this Wednesday? We don't have to wait 2 months to get.
Yep.
All right. All right.
I was all queued up for the picture. All right, this week's pick 3. We've got 10 books here. These all hit the shelf Wednesday, June 14th. We're going to start it off with Doctor Strange number 4 by Alex Ross. And then Rogue and Gambit number 4, Steve Morris. Venom Lethal Protector 2, number 4, Paulo Sequeira. I mess his name up every time. And here with the 4th book, we're going to break away from the 4 issues. This is Planet of the Apes number 3, Joshua Cassera. Then number 5 with Son of Origins of Marvel Comics, number 1, by Nick Bradshaw. Then Extreme Venomverse number 3, Ken Lashley. Something Epic number 2, Seisman Kudransky. The Last Barbarian 5, Brian Haberlin. Green Lantern 2, Tony S. Daniel. and Wolverine 34 by Rob Liefeld. Man, that Extreme Venomverse creeped me out. That's such a freaky cover. That's one that I would probably order just for the cover.
Yes, definitely. You know, I would absolutely. Well, I'm gonna. Let me grabbing that.
Yeah, are you gonna order it?
Well, no, I mean I'm gonna grab it just for the cover.
And then there's something epic that you were talking about.
Yeah, the Back to the Future homage. Yeah, that's awesome.
And then, I really like that. The Son of the Origins of Marvel Comics. That seems like a pretty cool series. I mean, they're going back and telling, I guess, retelling the origins.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
Okay.
So let's start with our third most favorite. You guys have any favorites or ones that you really don't like?
Yeah, I thought that Barbarians was pretty horrible. I didn't like that at all.
Oh wow!
I
And
thought
then I'd
that
probably
was
say,
that Barbarians cover was beautiful, but it just looked like somebody was drawing something from a photograph to me.
all right, let me backpedal a little bit just because the way Pat said that. I don't want it to seem like it's not beautiful because but that's you more concisely said what I meant to say, Pat. See, this is the difference between our brains, but we're on the same track. That's why I don't like that cover, and I think it's ugly because it just looks like a, something that Rose, Johnny's daughter, would sketch up, in her free time. Nothing special about it, but it's nice. I mean, I can appreciate it.
Yeah, that's why I put it on. I thought it was really well done. I mean, you sit there and look at it. It's just, it's very appealing.
You got to look at it.
Piece of artwork. It actually, well, I don't want to ruin anything here. It may have placed. I don't want
So basically, you think the Mona Lisa sucks?
He does. That's the way he's. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Go on record right now. Yeah, I don't like the Mona Lisa. It kind of sucks.
I guess for a comic book cover, the Mona Lisa is kind of boring, right?
Yeah, you put the Mona Lisa on a comic book. I'm not going to pick it in the picture.
The thing would sell like Weber cakes.
You need that. The only other one I wanted to critique on is the one you mentioned, that Son of Origins of Marvel. I was like, we got a chime in from our good friend Johnny there saying yay. Why are you saying yay? Because Rose got a shout out?
Oh.
I'm assuming, maybe, possibly. I could be completely self-centered in that thought. I don't know.
All right, so let's get to the machine, right? Here's our third favorite cover of the week. Rob Liefeld's homage to the Wolverine trade paperback. We have Wolverine number 34.
Love it. Yeah.
What
say you about this, Pat?
I was interested to see it when Mike first talked about it months ago. I said not many homages to this cover that I can remember, but it's just, yeah.
I thought it was okay too.
Wow.
I don't like the white background with the mute colors and one colorful part. I think
that's the homage.
Yeah.
I don't like the. I'm just saying what I don't like about the cover.
Yeah.
Again, this is funny how this kind of thing works out, because this was unintentional with the whole Spider-Man Annual #1 and my comment about the top 10 favorite stories of ours in comic books. This is definitely, the original trade paperback is definitely would be another top 10 favorite stories for me, which is again why I'm so attracted to this cover. You should read this, Tyler. I think you'd love it.
Hook me up with it.
Oh, Johnny's commenting because 340 survived. Exactly, Johnny. Yay! I've missed you every time it's won through all of Cover Combat, and I hope it becomes a champ. Johnny, you're definitely going to have to come to the episode for the finals so we can cheer dramatically for a very long period of time when 340 ends up winning the whole kit and caboodle. So
back to this cover, when Marcus was looking at him, he said, "Where's Wolverine?" And it kind of got me wondering. I'm like, come on, Rob, where is Wolverine? Why? You had to put your co-created Deadpool on there. I love Rob and his enthusiasm, but come on, man.
Is Deadpool in the book?
No, he wasn't even.
Then it
created.
sucks. Then it sucks.
He wasn't even created when this story was written. Well, what the homage cover is.
I hate covers with characters on them that have nothing to do with the story.
You're my son, that's for sure.
All right, let's go to number 2.
Yeah, back
Second.
to these covers.
Back to what we're doing here.
Yeah. Oh,
It's Venom Lethal Protector 2, number 4.
Nice.
shocking. That was another one I wanted to actually bash and say it didn't deserve to be on this list at all, but I was trying to be
What?
respectful to Tyler.
How does that not deserve to be?
No,
on this list?
I'm just joking.
I'm
I'm just-
triggered. I'm
Got a cool corner box too going on there.
Agreed. That's actually the part that I thought was the coolest about it, but it's a good cover. I like it. Yeah.
All right. And finally, for number 1, which surprised me,
Nice.
Something Epic number 2. Everybody loved this cover.
Not me.
Everybody voted for this cover except for Patrick.
Did I? I don't think I voted for that.
Yeah, I was kidding.
Oh,
Do you dislike this cover, Pat, or you just didn't like it enough to be in the top 3?
Yeah, I think it looks very amateurish.
My critique of barbarians to the T, it sounds. Yeah, I guess it's just the homage that won. I guess that's what
Yeah, I
won the voters over. You know?
Yeah, everybody loves Back to the Future. As they
yeah,
see
Back
that.
to the Future won the number 1 spot.
Right.
Not Something Epic.
All right, I'm gonna have to mute out for a minute because we got a fire alarm going off right beside here because there's a firehouse.
Gotcha. Yeah, Valor with a perfect round today.
Yeah,
Crazy. I was totally shut out.
yeah. Let's see. Yeah, and, surprisingly, every cover received at least 1 vote. That's it. I mean, it spread the votes all around. It wasn't like it was a dominating win. There were only 1 vote between each cover.
Can we go back to the 10?
Yep.
I don't want to see that cover anymore. Yeah, I like that Planet of the Apes cover too. I'm surprised it didn't place. I didn't vote for it. It was the one that made the final cutoff for me. But yeah,
I like that. I like the Green Lantern. I mean, it's a stereotypical just Green Lantern pose. But what I loved about it was the backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion.
Yeah. Oh well.
And then the Rogue Gambit for the girls. Oh wait, yeah, Tyler voted for that one.
He is a romantic.
Yeah,
All right, I was what I said while the alarm was going that I was shocked that Pat got shut out. You know.
Yeah.
That may be the first time ever.
Wow.
What'd you vote for, Pat? The 3 worst covers?
I guess so. I voted for Doctor Strange.
Yep.
Extreme Venomverse and Son of Origins.
yeah.
I think me and you might have been the only 2 to vote for Extreme Venomverse.
That's a great cover. And
I
I
voted for Extreme Venomverse as well.
I'm not a, I'm not the biggest Venom fan, but that's really cool.
I think the
Yeah.
Green Lantern one's too basic. I don't really.
Like I was saying, what I liked about that one was the background.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think I voted for Wolverine, Something Epic, and Doctor Strange. I believe. Sorry about that.
Going off again.
Say it again, Pat. I'm sorry.
The fire alarm's going off again.
Yeah, the coughing fire alarm right in my mic.
My bad.
His face is right here, coughing right
Well, they can
directly
see
at
my
me.
arm right here.
Anyway, what were you saying that was a bad pick of yours, though, Pat or Tyler?
What was he saying on this?
Yeah.
Nothing. No.
He picked
What did you
Rogue.
say when you thought you were on mic, but you weren't?
The extreme universe.
Oh,
I was
oh.
kind of say the opposite of Pat. It's like mid-level appreciation for me. I didn't think it was that great, but it was a lot of bias was half my vote.
Mm. Oh, so you think you picked it, but it was a bad pick, but you picked it because of bias.
Right.
Got it. Okay, gotcha. That happens to me, definitely.
I like it, but I probably would have picked something else.
Gotcha. What do you guys? Did you guys say something when the alarm was going off? I was kind of only half hearing. Did you guys say something about the Rogue Gambit cover too? What are you thinking of those?
I said the Rogue Gambit, for I figured it would appeal to the girls, and then I said, oh wait, I voted for it.
Yeah, and Karen just realized she can vote now. She wasn't even voting, but she's a part of the group now, so she can vote on pick 3.
Yeah.
She's like, dadgum, I could have pushed Rogue Gambit through.
Definitely could.
No.
It's like, no.
Hey.
Numbers don't lie.
Even one more vote for that book wouldn't have made it.
Okay.
All right, Mike, are we ready to do some reviews now?
Yep. Hey, how'd that happen? I'm never first.
You're first. That's why you're first now, Mike, because you're never first. So that's why you're first today.
I appreciate it. And this review is going to be a first as well.
Wow, okay.
This is a first that's going to be a must-have, get it, or a hard pass.
Hard pass.
All right. I read
Uh-oh.
Kong, the Great War. Number 1. This is the Joe DeVito variant.
Love this book. Love it. I love that cover so much. I'm gonna.
Yeah, man, I can't wait. And I'm frustrated because the solicitations, they're not sharing the covers very much. Joe did the variant for issue number 2. I can't even. It's not even in the solicits. The cover isn't. It took.
What do you think of this cover, Pat?
Yeah, I like that cover.
It's really cool, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
All right. I hope I hope this is a must-have.
Well, I told you, it's a must-have. It's a get it, and it's a hard pass.
Oh, it's all 3. Oh, I thought those. Oh, I thought you were joking, saying it's one of those. Okay.
No, it is. It is each of those for your own personal reasons.
Oh wow. Okay.
Here's some material. This is my favorite set of panels.
Spoilers.
Yeah, this is there's spoilers. Hey, there's a big monkey in this. I think this is great because the top 2 are flashback of them. Basically, it's a crew in a submarine, and he's the captain there on the right with the crazy haircut. He's talking to one of the crewmen to keep them safe, and then the bottom panel is actually real time after they've already crashed the submarine, and he's kind of looking at him in a funny manner. But anyway, it was pretty cool.
Okay.
So this takes place in 1917, during the Great War, World War One. So 1970, World War One ended in 1918. And these are German survivors of, this is important because it's stated in the book, U-184, which was an actual submarine. This is the U-184 submarine accident, and they all kind of wash up ashore. Some of them, they all do. Some of them are alive, some aren't. And of course, it's an uncharted island in the Pacific. The tide's coming in, so they all try to make their way to higher ground, climb up the cliff, and there's a cave there. They get in the cave, and they run into everybody's favorite giant gorilla, Kong. I love the artwork. I love the cover that Joe did. I love whenever they do character introductions like this, where they've got the name with the guy. I think it's great. And this is just another really great example of the artwork in there.
Okay.
It's fantastic. So the must-have is because it's King Kong. They get it because it's good art and it has good potential. It's not a whole lot happened in this story. I pretty much covered everything that happened, but it has great potential. Once things start moving. The hard pass is if you're a historian buff, because the U184 was actually, let me find my dates here. It was actually first launched February 21st, 1942.
Oh.
That specific U-boat that they're referencing was in World War II, not World War I. So that's just splitting hairs there, but I mean, come on. If I can figure it out. There were U-boats. There were U-boats in World War I. Just pick a different one. But anyway, personally, this is a must-have. And in general, I think the story is definitely.
Is a good get it. Got it. Good.
And number 2 comes out July 5th. This one came out. I didn't get all the specifics. This one came out May 10th. The writer is Alex Cox, and the artist is Tommaso Bianchi. Good stuff.
All right. Pat?
All right. I have 3 here, but I'm wondering if I should just cut one, save it. Let's just start out with Daredevil. I read 10 and 11. All right. So we're getting near the end here. This is 10 is by Chip Zdarsky and Marco Cicchetto, the main artist. 11 is by the artist is Rafael Della Torre, who I think has done some other issues in this run. He's not bad. He's just not Marco Cicchetto, and it's a shame that he couldn't have done every issue of this last run, but it is what it is. 10 sort of picks up, the war between the fist and the hand has sort of ended, but the Avengers have been called in, and another faction that I don't think I've mentioned in any of my reviews is the Stromwind twins. They're billionaires, and they've been doing a lot of manipulation throughout Chip Zdarsky's run. Think like, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, super evil. They basically are behind the scenes running governments and things like that. And they've worked together with the Hand, and they're the ones that sort of were working with the Hand to replace the leaders throughout the world with these Hand doppelgangers, one of which Elektra killed a few issues ago. She killed the U.S. president, who was actually, a puppet doppelganger from the Hand, and that's why the Avengers are so hot to take in Daredevil and Elektra. So this is basically Daredevil and his fist faction on their island versus the Avengers, Spider-Man, and the fallout from the Stromwinds. Daredevil has the fist amulet in his possession that's supposed to be part of this big prophecy to end the Hand. And he also has the book that tells them how, supposedly, predicts the future and tells them how the Hand versus the fist is going to play out. So their idea is to make sure they save these 2 artifacts. Meanwhile, the Avengers are trying to, arrest them, and it's some great artwork, some more great battle scenes, particularly between Elektra and Captain America. Captain America eventually takes down Elektra and places her under arrest. Daredevil's trying to make a last-ditch effort to get away. Meanwhile, Spider-Man's hot on his heels, trying to talk some sense into him. They just don't know why I think, Daredevil's doing these things. He basically outwits Spider-Man in the end, basically lies to him, and says, you're right. I've got to end this, goes in for the hug on Spider-Man, then twists the knife, sticks the knife in his back and webs him up with his own webs and escapes. And basically at the end, there's an avalanche. Daredevil creates an avalanche to try to get away, and the Avengers bug out of there with Elektra and a lot of the ex-prisoners that Daredevil and Elektra had brought into their Fist army. And it looks like Daredevil has died at the end of this issue under this avalanche. At least that's what Cap and the Avengers think. There's no way he's going to escape this avalanche. Cut to Daredevil 11. He did escape. He with the help of Detective Cole, who's another supporting character throughout this Chip Zdarsky run, they had a jet and they were able to rescue Daredevil and get him out of there. But where we find Daredevil in 11, he's rock bottom. He's defeated. Elektra's in prison. They've put a lot of his army in prison. He feels like things are over. Detective Cole tells him to get his butt out of bed, and he needs to finish this. As Daredevil, he needs to wrap things up and move on. So Matt, Daredevil, goes to this book, this book of the hand, or the book of the fist, that tells this prophecy. He reads it. You don't really know what he reads. They kind of leave this as the mystery. As he's reading the book, the pages are disintegrating, but he thinks he's getting this final prophecy from this book that he must complete. And the next thing you know, he shows up at the Stromwinds, the billionaires' front door, and says, "Look, I can't win this with all your money and influence. I basically give up." He surrenders to them and says, I will basically be your puppet and work for you if you let my wife, remember they're married now, Elektra, go, and you wipe her record clean, and you wipe the record clean of all of my Fist army, all the ex-villains, whatever, that they were trying to rehabilitate on the island, that were doing battle against the Hand. The Stromwinds say, "Sure, but we can't trust you." And Daredevil seals the deal in a fashion I'm not going to reveal here. It's too shocking. I don't want to spoil it if you do read this. Now keep in mind, Daredevil has when Daredevil and Elektra became king and queen of the Fist, they gained some extra powers. They have like sort of extra strength. They have some regenerative properties in their body that can give you a possible hint of where I'm going with this big spoiler at the end here. But it was shocking. I was like, where do they go from here? And we know the book is winding up. We know things will, like all books owned by major companies like DC and Marvel, there's going to be a reset button. But it's one of those reset buttons where you think, how does the next creative team reset this button?
Writing them into a corner.
Yeah. It's a great corner. It's an exciting, edge of your seat corner. It's like, what is going to happen here? How did this happen? I can't believe they did this. You would like to think when you make a deal with the devil, it's not going to work out well for you. So I think that's kind of where they're going here. But yeah, it's these like this whole series, this whole run of 13 issues have been, it's a get it for, definitely for me. I recommend getting it for everyone. Bordering on must have. Just superb artwork from Marco Cicchetto. Chip Zdarsky has shown to me that he is a top tier writer and can play in this Marvel Universe sandbox using these characters to his best ability. I think he really gets the most out of the characters he writes, pre-existing characters that he writes. And 2 more issues to go. I'm really looking forward. It's funny. I was actually found myself at the comic shop this week, and I saw 12 sitting there, and I was tempted to buy it off the rack, but I didn't.
Rather than wait for years to come.
Yeah, exactly. That takes me back to the good old days. And I remember when I was in college, and I was ordering books through the mail even back then, and I was so into John Byrne's West Coast Avengers run that I would, on my way home, I would come home for the weekends, and I would stop at the comic shop on Fridays, and I was buying that West Coast Avengers because I just couldn't wait. So this kind of harkens back to those days where it's just so good. I hate to see it, to know that it's out there that I could read it and have to wait for my
Wow.
comic to come in the mail. So yeah, these two are definite. I'd say I get it. At the very least, I get it for everyone.
Wow. That's a huge ringing endorsement. Awesome. Well,
Yeah,
I'm thankful I'm getting them all already.
yeah, I've been loving this, even the prior series quite a bit. So I keep telling myself I need to dig those out and just
Yeah.
point to focus on reading those, because the way he talks and it's almost like this is going to be just a classic run on Daredevil that people are going to go back to
Yep.
as one of the best.
Now, Kevin, did you put yourself at the end because you don't have anything?
No, I have one. Yeah.
Okay. I'll you want me to save my other one?
Well, it's up to you because I only have one. I don't have two. So it's going to be a little shorter than I usually am if you want to do your third one.
Okay. I'll do it just because I've been talking about this book. It's Fantastic Four number 7/700. It was an oversized issue. Now, I will give them credit here that this is all, the extra pages are all dedicated to the single story here.
Nice.
Unlike that Spider-Man,
Yeah.
the 25 that I talked about a couple weeks ago, I can't remember how I even did mention the fact that it was oversized. A few extra dollars, and the backup story was horrible. This is all one long story, but this is, by this creative team of Ryan North and Ibon Coelho. Back to the main creative team, the main artist. Basically, the Fantastic Four have made it to Aunt Petunia's house, which is where they were going on this road trip. That's Ben's aunt. And they basically laid out to Reed and Sue and Johnny that their plan was to stay here the entire year while they wait for the Baxter Building to come back into sync with our time. So I don't know if that's what we're going to get here, is that they're staying at this vacation home for a year. But so the main gist of this is they settle in doing home improvement projects, because that's just what you want to see out of your comic of the Fantastic Four, is you want to see them putting a new roof on the place. And Aunt Petunia warns them that there's a ghost in this house. Just, by the way, there's a ghost in this house. So they go about doing all these things, and they start struggling to find certain words. And they, through, Reed over sciencing things, realizes that they are words from the alphabet are actually disappearing for them. They can't, and if they don't have the letters of the alphabet, they can't make words, and they can't speak to each other. And basically we're left with, I think, maybe 4 to 6 pages of the Fantastic Four singing the ABCs, where certain letters keep dropping out as we progress. They're losing more and more letters from the alphabet. Does this sound like an exciting comic to you? Or,
No.
So they're left with 3 letters at the end: O, M, and D. Can you make any words out of O, M, and D that come off the top of your head that might relate to this cover?
Yeah, Doom.
There you go.
I'm terrible at trivia and riddles. And I got that one.
Yes, you can spell Doom with O, D, and M. So this was all a plot of Dr. Doom's. I'm not sure why he needed to do this in front of the Fantastic Four, just maybe to rub it in their face. Yeah. But the reason he's doing this is valid. He's upset about Reed's solution of shunting the Baxter Building a year into the future, because Valeria is in the Baxter Building, and he's Valeria's godfather. He will not. He made a pact with the Fantastic Four that nothing will ever happen to Valeria. So he thinks he's going to succeed where Reed failed and bring them back into sync, and Reed's telling him, no. This was a last ditch effort. It barely worked for me. I don't want you messing with this. Well, of course, that's not going to stop Dr. Doom. He begins to try to fix it, and we get into the old classic time loop trope, where he tries something, it doesn't work. He tries something else, a little variant, it doesn't work. So we get page after page of that, and at the end of this whole thing, he realizes that his future self has perfected the timeline the best it can already, So any attempts he makes to try to change this is never going to work.
Ah,
And it's driving him insane. So he decides to go back to the point in this issue where he confronts the Fantastic Four and sabotage himself, so he never has to go through all of this time looping. And that's what he does. He makes it so the Fantastic Four easily defeat him before he starts doing the time loop thing, and he takes off, and that's the end of the issue. I mean, I don't know where I'm at with this Ryan North. He just, I don't know. Not my,
Yeah, I haven't heard good things about his writing.
it's weird because I hadn't either, but you know, I look to see, just like the Spider-Man thing, like it's the same thing but opposite for me here. I'm looking at these other reviews and everybody hates the Spider-Man book right now, where I think it's, even though you may not like the choices that are being made, it's being well written. On the other hand, people seem to love this Fantastic Four book, and it's hot garbage almost to me. It's like, this isn't the Fantastic Four book I want, that's for sure. So to wrap it up, it's a forget it again. People say that, the artwork's great too. I just don't like this guy. He makes the women seem too young. There's just something about it, and I don't like his thing. And it's all adding up to, how much longer do I stick with this book? So yeah.
which is tough for you, this one being your jam too. So, right?
Yeah. But there's been points where I've checked out, even though I think probably I've kept collecting it. I haven't read it, but I'm getting to the point where do I do either with this book, So
Just wait until this series.
Say again, Mike.
Just wait until this series is over. They get a new #1, new creative team, and
Yep.
What do you think? What did you say? What you think of the art in general inside the interiors? What did you say?
It's competent. It's just the style just doesn't do it for me.
Gotcha.
There's something lacking. I think, I don't know. I hate to say this, but I think he's a digital artist, and it seems like I can always spot that, and something just seems off to me about it. I don't know.
Gotcha.
So two strong get it's and probably a strong forget it.
Okay. So we've gotten 6 reviews so far. Mike did a get it, forget it, and a hard pass. Now Pat's got a get it, borderline, must have, and a forget it. What is in store for me? I got back to Monstrous.
Okay.
you only read 1. This is like 6 issues.
Yeah. No, this is the cover for number 7. Although you're accurate, I started reading the volume 2 trade paperback. But I like how it is laid out with the cover of number 7, and then you read number 7, and then it has a wrap up of number 7, then it has the cover of number 8, yada yada. So it's really cool. So yeah, I read issue 7. And I think this is an especially long issue too. I think it was actually like 30 pages, which then if you got a comic book with the ads and everything in it, it might have been a 40-page book. So this may have been a double-sized issue. It's possibly what I'm thinking. I'm not sure though, because obviously I don't own it. But anyway, it did seem a little longer than the others. But without kind of recapping everything from the previous 6 issues, I reviewed. The girl on the cover is Micah. We talked about me mispronouncing her name before, and she's got her little fox friend with her on the cover there. I forget her name. And then she's got a cat, kind of necromancer. He's kind of a little sorcerer. He talks and stuff too, that the fox girl is holding on the cover as well. And we're following these 3. That's where we're left with the characters that we've had the experiences in the first 6 issues with, and we moved to a new area called Thalia, I believe it is, to where Micah is still on a journey to discover things about her past, because she is kind of embedded inside her with this mysterious evil force. I likened it to kind of a Venom thing in the previous 6 issues, where it controls itself, but they're together. So they're kind of working together to go on this journey together. But like I said, in issue 7, we're currently at a new location where it's basically just Micah investigating. Like, she revisits the home she grew up in, and she meets up with some old friends to try to recruit them to come with them on the journey, because, again, reminder, there are 2 arcane factions called the Dawn and the Dusk, which the Arcanics are people that are half animal, half human, and the Dawn and the Dusk are 2 rival factions of the Arcanics. Humans are also after Micah, and they think Micah has a special weapon slash, there's a power out there that they think they can get, not understanding that the power is actually this mysterious demon or whatever it is inside Micah. So she's kind of on the run. She's on the run to discover more about her past that she can't remember. She's also on the run to discover how to get rid of this evil demon, because, like I said, he's kind of his own thing inside of her, controlling himself. She hates it because it can basically take over her, facilities, and she's like eating sheep in the middle of the night. And when people turn up dead around these 3 characters as they journey anywhere, Micah's always wondering, did I do that, kind of thing, so she wants to get rid of this mysterious demon inside her. So that's part of her journey as well. Not much happened in this issue. It is a very kind of not only an investigative issue to her continue her journey to where she needs to go next, kind of thing, but it also kind of becomes an issue of explaining her past quite a bit, because every time she comes up to a new character that she had a history with, they briefly explain that history. So we essentially learn something new about Micah, so it's an interesting enough issue. Obviously, well, I shouldn't say obviously, but it continues to be beautiful art inside for sure. And I enjoy the writing in general. Something new is happening to me with Monstrous, though. And I'll give you a hint. It might just have to do with things I said about Star Wars Visions Season 2 last week, if you recall that review. There are things that I'm coming to notice more and more about Monstrous that I feel like I may have not noticed before, that maybe my irritations with Visions Season 2 brought out in me. Is this is very written towards kind of a female audience. There are very few male characters at all, and like none of them are focused on. And even I would say 9 out of 10 male characters are all Arcanics that are creatures. Like, it's a big male lion, as far as just having like straight up, male humans, they're like non-existent in this, which is fine. Obviously, the fact that this book exists does not bother me at all. I can appreciate that there are people that want this, and that, the creative team on this are obviously 2 women, and I have no problem with that whatsoever. It's just, it is kind of standing out to me that this book really might not be for me. So I'm definitely gonna read through all of the trade paperback for volume 2, but again, I don't know whether it's something that Vision's brought out in me or whether it's always been this way, but either way, I feel like the first 6 issues were more for men and women. But in this one, it kind of stood out to me that it's more being written for females to enjoy, which again, like I said, it's fine. And I love original. This is my big beef with especially gender swapping characters and all these other changes that they make in characters, that if they're going to create something fresh for the sake of, they want to provide content for the female audience. I love that. That's great. But it obviously just may not be for me, because I am enjoying this overall. It is a good story. This issue 7, it's kind of a little bit of a lame duck as far as anything really eventful happening. But it's still well written and the art's beautiful. And I'm going to, like I said, at least read through to 12. And then before I make a decision as to what I'm going to do regarding getting future issues, if it keeps moving further away from me or it does something to bring me back in a little bit, has yet to be seen. But I definitely recommend this as a get it. Just be aware that it does seem to be written more to a female audience, so it's fine.
I always assumed it would because of the creative team.
Yeah. But like I said, I feel like in the first 6 issues, I didn't have that same experience.
Right.
You know what else might be adding on to it is Ahsoka's coming out, which I'm torn with Ahsoka because, man, you've watched the trailers for Ahsoka and it doesn't seem to be any dude that isn't an evildoer in that show at all. Every character in that's females that I love too. I love Hera. I love Ahsoka, so I'm definitely going to check Ahsoka out, but that's kind of standing out. I don't know why this is standing out to me a lot right now. Exactly. Maybe it's because of all 3. Maybe it's because I'm reading this Monstrous and Ahsoka's coming out and I just caught Visions. You know how it works. If you get a lot of that same kind of thing, you start to notice it more, so
this is the first issue of a new story arc as well. So, she may have had that done and then, they usually take a break and then work on some more. So her direction, her writing style may have changed.
Yeah.
Or the direction that she may have plotted it out further, but who knows?
Yeah.
But obviously, like you said, she's a well-established writer. She used to write X-Men too, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely a good issue. It just, like I said, might not be for me. So
Yeah.
definitely get it as well on this. So
I think these books, I've been getting them. I think these are all definitely get it for me, at the very least for the artwork.
Yeah.
It is one of the most beautiful books out there.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that as well. So awesome. Mostly a positive week.
Yeah.
You guys are both tiptoeing on both ends of the spectrum with both ears, though. So
Get Carnage too.
Well, the hard pass is more of a joke thing on my
yeah,
end.
no, I know. All right, I can't wait to see. And I know one thing that I'm hoping one thing that you're going to show this week. Oh, and before we get into the Horizon, Pat, how we talked about this before. You want suggestions? I know we were talking about mostly to the audience, but I'd like to put in a suggestion. I want to see the toys that you're talking about in your preview comics. Sorry about my delay again. I'm not doing all that right now. You see what I'm doing? But that comic that you had in the previous preview, I want to see those toys.
Spaceman. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. That's my request for the future.
All right.
But let's see what's better than 2 Hot Toys Batman.
Okay. All right. So what is better than two Hot Toys Batmen?
I know. I
We're
know.
gonna don't answer that. We're not gonna go there yet.
Okay.
Not
See.
looking-
Let's start with something much cheaper than Hot Toys. These were two announcements late in the week this week from Super 7. That is Princess Bride is getting reaction figures. Any fans of the Princess Bride?
Hello.
There you go, Karen. Karen's a huge fan of the Princess Bride, which I am too. I love the Princess Bride. It's great, obviously. And I'm going to use the word obviously. I'm not going to backpedal on that. Princess Bride is obviously great. Everybody should love it. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you're-
love Princess Bride, but I like $100 bills too, and that's $100 bill sitting right there.
Yes, I was going to say, correct, Mike. That is $20 each equals $100 for the whole line right there.
Well, I'm a fan of them watching the movie, not the action. And if Karen wants these and she wants someone else to get them, it's going to take 5 birthdays.
Or 5 different people.
Yep, exactly, Mike.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe get a pre-order discount or wait for them to hit clearance.
Those are cool though. Definitely, those are cool.
Yeah. Also from Super 7 Reaction, we have another wave of Treehouse
I
of
have
Horror.
a point of order. Point of order. You're supposed to say what, Kevin? No. Anyway,
But I don't think that's how they do it.
I know.
The bottom.
I have to point this out. I've said it once. I've said it a million times. It is so crazy how things play out with each other, right? Because we were just talking about the Princess Bride last week when I was talking about Pat's Matina trickery or possibly not trickery regarding cover combat and referencing the or the Princess Bride scene where he's like, you would think I'd put the poison in my drink, but then I would know you'd think that, so I'd put it in your drink. That whole thing. Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that.
That's crazy how that works out, right?
Yep.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, this is just another round of Treehouse of Horror figures.
Those are great.
So good. So good. I would love to see a big fan of these and all of these together. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah. So, if you want all 4 of these, it's only $80, Mike. So you might consider that.
Are you getting
All
any of
right.
these?
Probably not. No.
Okay. All right.
I think my days of collecting Simpsons action figures ended a long time ago. I was all in on Playmates World of Springfield. I probably have a 95 to 97% complete collection
Oh wow.
of the Playmates Simpsons figures.
I'd love to
Everything.
see that. Yeah.
If you want to come dig through the boxes in my attic, you can see them. But that's
Okay. Okay.
Did you get the REM ones?
I did.
Mike's
Yeah.
like, my birthday's coming soon.
Yeah, I'll take those. Then you'll be 90% complete.
Now that I think of it, for some weird reason. So what happened with those ones was those weren't made by Playmates; they were made by NECA.
Okay.
They're sort of in scale with the Playmates figures, and that line was like all celebrity or very weird offshoots of the main characters. And for some reason, I think I have bootlegs of that wave.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very strange. Anyway.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing, it was like, $15, $20 per member of a band. And they did Aerosmith, they did REM. Who else did they do? There was another band too, if I'm remembering correctly. But
Are you using the term bootlegs loosely too? Like it was just knockoffs as opposed, or were they literally bootlegs?
they were bootlegs. It seemed like for a period of time there were some nefarious dealings with NECA over in China, and a lot of the NECA figures were getting bootlegged over there.
Wow.
You would get, I think, if I again remembering correctly, I think they came in like a box instead of carded, and they were like bagged, or no, they had like paper rectangular boxes inside a larger overall box versus blister carded like reaction figures here.
Is bootlegged action figures still a thing now?
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that. Didn't even dawn on me.
Yeah. We actually talked about that a little bit, I think, when you were looking at getting maybe some of those Revoltech like Captain America, the Marvel figures. I think it was Revoltech or Amazing Yamaguchi. Those are known to be bootlegged pretty
Oh
regularly.
yeah, you did mention that. That's true. Okay, gotcha. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So let's do a little Hasbro. What this is June, right? And what does June mean?
It's GI June.
No,
Or-
not
or-
quite.
That's GI January.
No, it's June I Joe. It's something. What is it? I forget.
I hate when the Penguins play June I Joe at the Penguins games. That drives me nuts. It's Yojo June.
Yo. All right. Right.
And I mentioned the fact that they were going to do a HasLab, if you remember that.
I do.
It was revealed last week. It's already been funded. It is this Dragonfly copter, calling it Operation Dragonfly. It funded within the first couple days, or I don't have the exact details, but it's already fully funded. Now they're on to the stretch goals. You can see there's everything. It's $275. You know, and you know it's cheaper. Like we always go back to the Ghost Rider Charger that they tried to HasLab last year. And it was $350. This seems like a very similar product. You know,
It seems bigger though.
yeah, it probably is bigger, but just an overall, I'd say, because of all the swap out parts for the Charger and all the light up features. Although there is light up features here, I think there were some more in depth, features for the it. Bottom line, I think they were kind of on even terms, but I think what kicked it up the extra $75 or whatever is because they have the Marvel license to deal with. Here, Hasbro owns G.I. Joe, so potentially that's an answer as to why this isn't as expensive.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And you can see that their target was 10,000 backers. When I took this screenshot yesterday, they were at 12,000 and some odd backers. So it's fully funded. They're onto the stretch goals. We'll go through some pics real quick here. That's a little better picture. It comes with one figure, Wild Bill. There it is. There's sort of the dimensions on it.
This is awesome. So awesome.
Here's a pic next to an actual human.
Yeah.
One of Hasbro's G.I. Joe development team. This is a prototype unpainted, but you can see the scale of the whole thing.
So good. I think, this might just be me thinking, which doesn't make sense sometimes, that maybe this got back to because I feel like there's a wider audience for something like this than Ghost Rider, which was cool. But if you aren't like a comic person, but this could be just, you could love helicopters and love this. G.I. Joe fan, but then this is just an awesome toy. This is the one I was actually referring to when we started that I was excited to see, because I actually did see a few pics of this in my social media stream as well. And man, I just think it's so awesome. If I had the money, this would be something, that I would be in on. It's so cool. Yeah,
it's pretty neat. There's the Wild Bill figure it comes with, and these are their stretch goals. They're saying that they have 3 more figures lined up. They announced the first one, which is Ripcord. He unlocks at 13, so they're very close to unlocking him. If I could see better, I think maybe that's 16,000 backers and then 19,000 backers for the next 2 figures. So they've got a few weeks before the campaign ends. Actually, 38 days as of yesterday. So I I imagine they'll hit all their goals. They did with the Hiss tank, which was the previous HasLab G.I. Joe project. So yeah, there seems to be a lot of support behind the G.I. Joe line. So
And let me ask you to clarify the way stretch goals work too. So whenever they meet that point that they want to add another figure, it doesn't get added to what you're getting, right? That's just another thing they're adding to offer, right? It's still going to cost more, right? It's not included.
yeah, it will not cost more. That's the thing. The more people that go in, the better the deal becomes.
Oh, okay. Oh,
It's
okay.
to sweeten the
That's
pot.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's to sweeten the pot and get more backers.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay,
That's
so
not how Kickstarter works, is it? Because Kickstarter, if you keep going to the higher add-ons or whatever, it costs you more and more money. It's just they need more backers to get to that point, right? Kickstarter.
it works both. Right? Yeah, it works both ways. There can be add-ons that you pay extra for, but these are stretch goals that just get unlocked and are included with the base.
I love that. That's cool. Okay, got it.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Yeah.
You don't. The add-ons are great if you want extra little things here and there, but yeah, the unlockables. That's what. If you're a backer, that's what you want. That's why you try to get. That's the whole crowdfunding thing, where you try to spread the word and try to get more people to back, because the more people to back, the more you get.
Gotcha.
We'll stick with Marvel. They announced a new wave of Marvel Legends. A lot of 3 figures based from the new The Marvels movie, Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel, rest in peace, and Photon. The rest of this wave are comic book based. We have a Commander Rogers figure. He was one of the very first Marvel Legends under Hasbro. So he's getting a re-release. Not overly fond of the head sculpt on this guy. I don't know if you can really.
It does look great. Yeah.
So yeah, all he comes with is his translucent shield, which is like an energy shield that he used at the time. I love this outfit. This is when Bucky took over as Captain America and Steve became Commander Rogers. And I actually love this uniform, and the shield was cool. It was good. It was a good answer to having Bucky as Captain America at the time. But yeah, I don't know about that face.
Yeah.
And this is a Hero's Return Iron Man. Another Iron Man. I mean,
yeah, I never liked that Iron Man head. I've never been into that.
Is this who did Heroes Return? Was it the Image guys come back for that too? I can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Another Inhuman to add to your collection. This is Karnak. If you like the Inhumans, you probably like this decision, but
everyone else, no.
Yeah. And sorry, Mike. Was that Tyler?
That was Tyler. Yeah.
What'd he say?
6 people will buy that figure.
That's not getting any stretch goals unlocked.
There you go. And this is kind of what gets me, especially it seems with Target, with the way they have been distributing Marvel Legends, where they've gone to this, I don't know, strategy where stores, I don't know if it's the stores ordering this or Hasbro just distributing this way, but they distribute a case of just one figure. And you'll oftentimes see like that's the fear here, where they get a whole case of Karnak and that's all they have for this wave.
Really? Please.
It's annoying the way they've gone to these full figure cases instead of doing waves. They do both. Both are available for stores to order, but for some reason it seems like Target, and I don't know if this is if you've noticed this is in the Star Wars end, Tyler, if they're doing it there too. But I hate when you see like just a peg of one figure and nothing else from the wave.
Yeah, it's pretty common.
The last one to round out this wave is the Young Avenger Marvel boy from the Young Avengers. newer character. I think he's got a kind of a following behind him. And if you've been following along, if you noticed what the pieces that were included with all of the figures in this wave, it is a Build-A-Figure Totally Awesome Hulk.
That looks kind of cool, though. I'm not a big Totally Awesome Hulk fan, but that looks pretty good, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, the figure looks nice.
Yeah.
So
that's-
Build-A-Figures haven't worked with me yet.
Yeah.
I've been inclined to buy 4 figures that I don't want just to get the one.
Do you have that one Venom Build-A-Figure, though?
I bought it by itself.
Okay,
When
that's
someone already built it.
Right. Yeah, that's how to do it. Yeah.
Wait for someone else to build it.
Right.
Even with Khonshu, they had Miss Marvel and a couple other characters I didn't want, but they're still $25 a pop. So I'd rather just buy Khonshu himself off eBay.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
All right. And to wrap it up, we'll go to some Hot Toys. I asked, what is better than 2 Batmen? Well, wait, hold on one second. We won't go there yet. We have the Flash. An actual
teaser. You teaser.
Well, I've been showing Batman from the Flash movie, so I figured I better show the Flash.
Yeah, the
from the Flash movie. Now, I don't know if there's a reason they waited till after the Batman to show the Flash figure. I have no idea. But this is your Hot Toys Flash coming in at $290.
Jeez.
There we see him in action. There we see him on a base, a light up base. Here we have, his unmasked and masked head with the separate rolling eyeballs.
Wow, that's a sculpt there.
Rolling eyeballs. I've never heard of that articulation.
We discussed this on the show a few weeks ago, Tyler. You should tune in sometime. It's weird. They used to be known for purrs, which the eyeballs would stay perpendicular to each other when you moved them. So you can see you can open the back of the head and you can position the eyes to be looking whatever way you want to. It used to be that they were in parallel to each other, so they'd always be looking in one direction. Well, now the eyeballs are actually like separate, so you could ultimately make a cross-eyed Ezra Miller here if you wanted to.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, man, that looks like that looks like a photograph. We were talking about that before with Batman too. Yeah, it's so good.
There's a special edition and a collector's edition. The only difference is the special edition comes with a life-size Flash ring, as you can see in this picture here. No difference in cost. You just have to get in early and get the special edition.
Huh, that's cool.
And there's sort of that, the showpiece where it shows all the things that comes with the ring, the bases, the extra hands. You can see that in the one picture there, which they didn't have a separate shot on its own, but at least one or two of the face plates, as you can see, that sort of blurred.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes sense if you're going to put him in some certain positions with those effects attached to him, that his face would be blurred too. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They think of everything. It's awesome.
Okay. So we'll finally answer the question. What's better than 2 Hot Toys Batman? And I don't know how you're going to feel about this one. This is a weird one, and there's no pricing on this one yet. They just showed the pictures of. They showed all the spec pictures, just like the Flash, but so far I haven't seen a price. And this seems to be a Hot Toys exclusive, so you would actually have to order it directly from them. This is the Warner Brothers 100 Batman figure, which is basically the Dark Knight that they've already released, but they're doing it in sort of comic book colors.
Yeah, I was gonna say the blue. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Not,
Can we see more?
Yeah, you can see more, but already you're sort of mimicking what I've seen from the general public.
Okay.
There base.
Looks a little better when he's like that.
Like his knees blown out.
I ain't paying attention to his knees. That's what I'm paying attention to, his cowl. Yeah.
Making a kissy face.
No, he's talking there. He's not making a kissy face. He's in the middle of a sentence.
No, that's kissy face. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that cow because of the way the
Yeah.
it kind of curves in up at the top. I prefer straight up.
Well, this is, when he became kind of more of a realistic Cal in the later movies. Yeah.
I'm
So
never a fan of that.
I grew to like it. I see definitely understand what you're talking about, Mike, but I grew to I grew to not mind it. I should say.
Yeah, that's one of the one things that always bugged me about Christian Bale's Batman. I didn't like that look. It makes sense because full range of motion with his head.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah.
That's the biggest reason I was sold on it, because they kind of explained that in the movie too, which helped, so. Well, yeah, I'm kind of torn. I'm torn. It looks cool and it doesn't at the same time.
I'm a total
But-
Christian Bale, Batman, Homer, but I'm not quite digging it.
Yeah. You're not alone. There's a lot of people that didn't really care for this.
So we can. So this was something that I don't think you've ever showed us on the horizon on Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space, but because this must have been far enough back that you're saying there's another figure that's exactly like this that is all the appropriate movie colors. Is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't say exactly, but I'm guessing that they reused a lot of the elements from that Christian Bale Dark Knight from back in the day, because there's I'm betting there's more than one. They probably did one for each movie.
Yeah.
But
Lines in that costume.
yeah. But I don't know. We've seen this with McFarlane's movie Maniacs, or whatever they're branding it. Is that they're pushing out a lot of this Warner Brothers 100 product, and this is just another example. So, the one thing to keep in mind, Kevin, if you're on the fence on this, keep in mind it's probably going to be like $350. So,
You have to think about it too.
Yeah. I'm just on the fence about my opinion, not whether I'm actually going to buy it or not.
yeah. Well, even
Right.
still, you could use that to influence your overall like or dislike.
Right, Mike?
What's that? Yeah.
I just was playing peekaboo with you. I thought this was going to be a new tradition. What's up, Mike?
Yes, that's why I'm leaning.
Anyway, sorry, Pat.
If you gave that to me, I'd probably enjoy it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's it for the Horizon.
Okay.
I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to check out in the middle of your thing, but I only brought 2.5 hours worth of coffee, so I had to go refresh.
Okay. Well, Pat, it's so good. Yeah. Man. You guys are so good at your segments. Every week, you guys make me want to be better. Okay, because y'all are so.
We're trying to make you better. Just get there.
I'm working on it, Mike. Geez, that was hard. Did you hear how mean he was to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, seriously though, good stuff, great stuff. Yeah. All of it. So okay, yeah, I'm ready to recap it up and talk about it some more in different ways. Are you guys?
Kind of.
All right.
Roll that, and I'll try to catch up.
I'll go for it. Tyler was just passing you behind the scenes, Mike. Go ahead and tell him.
No, that's okay.
Go ahead and tell him.
The Conan #3 spec totally took off.
Remember the Conan #3 spec that you recommended?
Yeah.
He found it in a dollar bin.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
bitter about it.
Yeah, that was a hot flash one. That was a quick flip.
Hey, he's not lying. He says that all the time.
You're right.
Yeah, there are some you got to strike while it's hot because it'll cool off and you'll find them in dollar bins.
All right.
Especially
Mike, what do you got?
it was only hot because of the controversy. Once people forget about the controversy, people forget about the book.
Yeah.
That's true.
I forget the controversy.
It was the character that the female character that was used the same name as Sacagawea, I think.
Oh, yeah, maybe I kind of remember something about
Bad
it.
and stuff like that, and it was made up controversy. People getting upset about.
Well, most of them are. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, come back around. I'll be
Oh, so you're saying you're not quite ready?
Yeah, I forgot to take notes.
Okay. What you got, Pat?
Just wise words that Kevin learned. Don't look at covers minimized.
You took one of Karen's. Yes. Okay. Yeah. More wise words. Don't sleep on Avatar making the big bucks, because everybody else is watching it but you. Okay. Apparently. Mike, you ready now?
I'm not. I'm striking out. I really can't even.
Karen's got one.
Karen saves the day, and it better not be clapping.
Oh,
Xcellar needs an exterminator. Good job, Karen. Yeah. What you
I
got,
really
Pat?
don't have much. I just want to say, because I've seen Tyler, whatever his name is, Kevin, you can fill me in. I've seen his shirt. Does he have a quick rundown of his impressions of Three Rivers Comic Con they could give us?
Tyler, come over here. No one can hear you over there. He checked out as soon as the recap.
Well,
was
he can rotate back in if he's not ready to do it right now.
Okay,
I just
okay.
like to know.
My recap of Three Rivers Comic Con.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Basically, what do you feel about? How do you feel about it? How was it?
Well, it was my first one, so I
Right.
don't have a lot of basis. But from what I
Wait, that was your
thought-
first con in general?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Enjoyed it. There was a lot of people there. I thought it was a little smaller than I expected, but that just might be the area.
Okay.
But there were a couple artists, like Rick Leonardi was there. I don't know who else, but overall, I really enjoyed my time there.
Did you visit Rick?
No, because it cost money.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He was free at ours, wasn't he?
It's like
it might have been like $5 or $10 for a signature, but
Oh,
well, I walked over there and I get starstruck,
we all do.
and I hadn't actually read anything 2099 yet. I was just always a fan of the image, so I didn't want to go up there and say, "Hey, I love 2099," and then not have anything to talk about.
And then he whips out with a, "What's your favorite thing about him?"
Yeah.
what's your favorite panel?
So I was mostly too nervous to go over there, and then I saw the price tag board next to him, so then I just didn't get any closer.
Well, like I told you, he was probably my least favorite experience because I tried to joke with him, and he wasn't having it. I tried my little charming, little jokey jokes, and he was straight faced the whole time. I was like, "All right,
But
can you face this way and take a picture?"
now I would definitely go talk to him now, though, since I've read a bunch of this stuff.
Nice. Okay. All right, there you go, Pat.
Or you could bring up the common shared experience. You could say, "Hey, you remember when my dad met you?"
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
That'd be great.
All right, so then I just want to say that go team Incredible Hulk 340. You're doing a great job. It's been officially endorsed by Johnny in this episode too. So keep going.
Yeah.
So maybe obviously not obviously, but we're off next week for Father's Day. But the following week, when we reveal the winner, it'd be awesome if Johnny was able to hop into the show. If he's limited on time, obviously we do that at the beginning. So look forward to maybe seeing Johnny.
For sure.
Yeah.
Do you hear that? That's that mystery noise. I don't know where that ever comes from, Kevin.
What is seriously? You don't know what it is?
I mean, that's been, months, half a year where it pops up, and I have no idea what that comes from.
That's the first time I've ever noticed it. Mike, you know about that too?
I didn't hear anything.
Oh, maybe that's why I've never noticed it before. I definitely heard it for the first time today. Well, you know what it sounded like? It sounds like if I were to vape right into the microphone.
Yeah, that's what I thought way back when, but then I quickly realized it wasn't happening, so I don't know what that is. We don't have a vaping sound effect on the board, do we, Karen?
Karen?
That's funny though. We should do that.
All right, so Mike, what do you got?
Not much.
That's it for you?
I was so into the show.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
I do. I get so into the show that I forget for anything to recap. So,
How about Daredevil is going to be a classic run for sure, seems.
yeah. I mean, will anything come close to rivaling Frank Miller's run on Daredevil?
Yeah.
I think I may have mentioned that maybe this will, because it's a whole other generation reading it, could it rival?
Right.
Could it be up
Right.
there with like Walt Simonson's Thor, runs that people look back, John Byrne's Fantastic Four, stuff like that. So
Right.
that's what I got.
Karen's got a cool one.
At least someone does. Yeah.
Karen says for the podcast people, Venom wins even with Iceps.
We'll see if he wins next time.
We'll see how this plays out. I'm super excited. Aside from the whole, obviously I'm biased for 340. I literally have loved this Cover Combat 4. I've loved every one, but Cover Combat 4 just has continued the tradition of awesomeness, in my opinion.
Yeah, I work on getting that up on Facebook. As soon as we're done here, I have some work to do outdoors. But
yeah, actually, I do too. So, I'll just close it. You're done then too, Pat, right?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
it would be cool if Johnny was on here and did this segment.
Okay, this might not be a closeout because I've got Karen in the room for me, so she can yell at me with her eyes that she's got another one. Tyler prefers President's Day over Valentine's Day. Okay. No, I think he said he prefers President's Day over Halloween.
Oh.
Nice. That was good though, Karen. He prefers everything over Valentine's Day. He thinks Valentine's Day is just a stupid holiday, apparently. Anyway, G.I. Joe fans and helicopter fans alike love the new Hasbro. And I can't even remember how I butchered Yo Joe June or whatever, but whatever it was. So stay tuned for more Yo Joe June. So that's it for me. Karen, are you done?
No.
Okay, Karen. Oh, Karen's bringing the heat today. What does clap mean? Have you guys heard that? What does clap mean, Ty?
Clap?
Yeah.
Chlamydia?
No, the acronym.
I don't know.
Ugh.
Oh,
Kevin and Mike are failing at peekaboo. Okay. That's true, because you mentioned it last week and I wasn't tracking, and I mentioned it this week and you weren't tracking. That's actually a good one, Karen. Nice job.
pay attention.
All right, well, that do it, Karen. Karen's checking her notes. See what you all should do. Check your notes.
I take notes, but I doodle instead.
Yes, I believe that's it. Yeah, I took the other one.
All right, so that's it. So I think we did pretty good with the first previews as far as time's concerned. I know we're over 3 now, but we had late start and all kinds of good stuff. I'm in PA, so I think that'll be shaved under 3 for the next previews. So anyway, here we go. Please like and comment on this video. Please like it right now before I go even further. Please like it. Thank you. And comment on this video, as well as subscribe and hit that bell to get notifications. Please subscribe to Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space on Spotify for podcasters or many other podcast providers. And please listen to the edited podcast of the live stream on Spotify. That will be posted later today or tomorrow. I'm actually going to change that because since I'm in PA, it's going to be Monday because I'm not doing it here today or
We were
tomorrow.
just about to come to Manny Bros.
It was Monday. So anyway, follow Xcellar Comics on Facebook, Instagram, and or Twitter, and follow Xcellar_comics on TikTok and whatnot. And watch our shows on the Whatnot app weekdays 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't actually have a show scheduled right now for you to bookmark. I definitely will again by Monday. I can say right now it's either going to be Tuesday or Wednesday for the first show. Depends on how Monday goes, essentially. But I'll definitely be back for at least 2 shows, maybe 3 shows next week. So again, check out the Whatnot app. And check out what we have to offer on eBay at Xcellar_comics and on our website, xcellarcomics.com. And then watch our next live stream on YouTube or Facebook. Not next Saturday. We're skipping next week because of Father's Day, right?
Correct.
So we'll be here the following Saturday, 9:30 a.m.-ish again, right?
Yep, works for me.
Good for you, Pat? He's like, as far as I know, that far away, but he's muted. All we can see that was in his eyes. Okay. But we're skipping next week to celebrate Father's Day. So definitely check us out the week after. Stay tuned to our posts on Xcellar Comics as to whether it'll be Saturday or Sunday or whatever the case may be. I'm loving Saturday though, so I'm in for that. So right?
Yep, I like Saturday.
All right. Thank you, Karen. And studio audience. Sorry. Do y'all have anything else? Pat, Mike,
Nope, I'm good.
Mike, you good? All right, awesome. And thanks for we had 2 or 3 different people chime in the comments today, and we really appreciate that. So come back every show and do the same. Love to see everybody commenting in during the show so we can interact with them during the show. That's great. So, but until next time, don't forget that appreciating great art is awesome and reading a great story is fun. So why not pick up a comic book and do both? Xcellar out.